Hello everyone and welcome to a new Let's Play as Russia where we're going to be taking on a bit of a somewhat special challenge that was given to me, and that is to not remove serfdom. Sorry, I stuttered a bit there. Basically, the idea here is that we're going to play Russia. We're going to do the usual things of reform, better the economy and all that, but we're not going to remove serfdom at all. And serfdom has this funny thing. First off, your peasants can't move anywhere. Also, serfdom, that makes sense. New things they added though in recent updates. 75% of your arable land in all incorporated states cannot be utilized. It has to stay as a subsistence farm. And it gets better. Half of those people working in those cannot leave them. They have to stay as peasants. So if we go over to Kiev here, we have 700,000 people currently employed. If we were to somehow use up half of this slot, so that let's say 350,000 of these workers get recruited to something else, the other 350,000 are stuck here. They cannot promote to any other job, and because serfdom doesn't allow them to migrate, they are literally stuck to this land. They cannot go anywhere. And just to show you, it says we only have 9 pieces of land available here to develop. The other 131 points are reserved for subsistence farming. Oh god, this is gonna hurt. Also, schools are very restricted. We can't have religious schools because of serfdom. We can't have public schools because of serfdom. So we're actually gonna have to go against the church at some point to enact private schools to get any kind of education system. Except peasants also get a massive reduction to their qualifications while under serfdom. So, that's gonna be really fun. Other than that, everything else is fair game as long as serfdom remains, but you might just go for broke and allow the gentry to remain in existence. Speaking of which, they have a lot of power at the start. The rule folk in Russia used to start at influential, but I've noticed after several tests, they're always marginalized now. Only thing I want to do really quickly here actually is with the armed forces, you can sometimes get a good agitator out of it. In this case, we got a positivist, which we want because they are against the state religion section. More importantly, though, we can get the modernization movement right away without having to do any of the abdication shenanigans. Because I decided, why not make this harder on ourselves and forbid ourselves from doing anything related to abdication? Because of course we have to make it harder. As if it wasn't already hard enough. I actually can't even add the armed forces in now without losing our righteous government standing. That is funny. Because they're now led by an authoritarian, which is somehow worse. I'm sure there's reasons for it, but we'll go ahead and keep this government arrangement for now. We are actually going to do the usual thing as well. We're going to bribe them by restricting the rights of women. It will give us an increase in birth rate, but it's going to hurt the workforce ratio, which technically means less people working, but we'll have a higher pop growth rate. We're gonna try to overcome the whole peasant issue by just having more people. If we have more people, surely it will just solve itself, right? Actually, we don't want to do this technology first. We want empiricism, because that is going to give us a bit of literacy from just education. And then we modernize to railroads. We also are going to do something I really love to do, if I can remember that I... Yeah, no, we already had the interest. I should be able to do it. Sorry, it's been a while since I've played. I was pretty certain... Oh! Okay. I was going to say, it used to be that Persia always started as a regional power, so you could just do a day one war to make them a subject, but I'm guessing the changes they made to prestige with goods, where their value isn't as high at the start, means the average prestige is down at the beginning of the game. And because that's down, nations like Persia are able to be major powers instead of regional powers. Which is a bit of an unexpected and interesting change to that. Oh, we could exploit the workers on the very few plantations we have. For no apparent reason at all. Our rye farms could make liquor. Our wheat farms could make sugar. That's going to completely crash the price of both, and I don't regret any of it. Technically, our food industries could be switched to just making food. They don't need to make liquor, but with sugar this cheap, surely you wouldn't mind. And we're also going to have to find other ways to get more food of grain. So we're probably going to be importing a lot from foreign countries. In fact, I'm not going to protect China because I do want to take that territory they usually get. that we can usually get, I mean, in Manchuria. But other than that, we're probably just going to try to take as much land. Not take land, but do lots of trading. Violently. Look, I'm not making this any better for us. Our foreign policy is really all over the place. And I know it said technically only incorporated land has the cost increase, so obviously not incorporating certain areas means the serfdom wouldn't apply. If we go down here, we can actually use all the arable land here to make tobacco or tea plantations. But we're going to double down and make the challenge a bit harder by also requiring us to incorporate all of our territories. So, you know, just to make this even more difficult for no apparent reason at all. I also don't know who we want to be friends with. I mean, I don't want to be friends with anyone, right? I mean, except Finland. Finland's a good place. No, I want to make you a subject. Speaking of which, they're already falling to regional power. We just have to wait. It's going to be at least a year before they actually get the fall, though. In fact, collaborative intelligentsia. Can we do... Yes, we can. Okay. I just wanted to see if we could do that because I thought it'd be really funny if we could. So one thing we did need to do that I forgot is... I meant to switch that over to get importing for subventions, but I did the wrong thing, and I gotta wait 2 months, 3 months, or whatever it is to change it. I meant to start doing subventions to pay them to send us iron, but instead I just told them there's no tariff anymore, and that's it. Because obviously, we do not make enough iron for this. Alright, that's the first step. The second step is something. Well, actually, agrarianism, if we can do it. And wouldn't you believe it, there's this really cool movement out there that we really should give buffs to that really, really thinks it'd be just the swellest idea if we ended traditionalism. And we can actually ask the Orthodox Church if they'd like to help remove that. Do I want to guarantee the lives of the people? Political concessions would be the easiest, and I kind of want to have a powerful clergy long term. So now we actually have a 27% chance to enact agrarianism, thanks to the Orthodox Church, who normally doesn't care about this thing. There's already a flood. It's the first year of our rule. And there is already a significant flood in the heart of our nation. This is just embarrassing. So most of our trade is still going to be exports. We're importing some iron now. We just got to build up more. I'd like to get more mines going already. And Qing's back down. That's not a surprise. But I don't even have the trade capacity for it yet. That was extremely fat. It's been 1 year into the game. What is happening here? So we can make him an enlightened royalist. That is really funny to me, sure. Yeah, just because I think it's really funny. God, I really don't want to. I really don't want to do charity hospitals. It's a very easy decline. The reason why I don't want to do charity hospitals is because I'd rather have the clergy support public health insurance, which just reduces mortality more than charity hospitals does. Does make the church more powerful. This is true. That is not what I'm going for. Well, it is what we're going for. We're not meaning to go for it in that method. We're not trying to do it in that way specifically. I also just remembered I do want to boost relations with those three. And here we are. Upgrade all units. And we'll just mobilize 2 of them. I love that you can right-click all this stuff now. Hey, it's been in the game for a while now, but I just wanted to note it again because it's really nice. And then maybe we also... no. We'll just fight for it. It'll be fine. It won't be hard. Now, the severe lack of iron is definitely a problem, though. Probably shouldn't have any taxes, tariffs on tools either. Just so they're easier to send on over. I'm actually going to delay incorporating these states since we're moving to already get off traditionalism pretty fast, actually. In a way that's very pleasing to me, but I am moderately concerned that we will not have the money for any of this later. Oh, man, I forgot how fast construction sector's finished now. With the recent changes in the last few months. Like, they changed really fast. I think after agrarianism passes, we raise taxes again. Just because I'm trying to get it to pass as fast as like, actually, we should just do it now. We're already spending a lot of money. There we go. Empiricism's done. We're on agrarianism now, which is going to see our bureaucracy fall, but it will improve our market access price impact. We can also change to per capita taxation, but right now the amount of serfs we have kind of makes that a bad idea. Oh, God. And now I'm in this pain. I'm in that pain now where I want... Oh, the bourgeoisie exist. Cute. I'm in this pain where I want to end serfdom. I really want to end serfdom. But my God, I cannot do it. We could get dedicated police force, except that will, of course, do the same thing it's already doing. It will just kill our bureaucracy system even further. Racial segregation would kind of work. Or we just bring the army in and reform from peasant levies. That weakens the aristocracy. We could also just leave it in charge, but I think professional army is just great because of the morale loss reduction. Compared to a morale loss increase while on peasant levies. Keeping peasant levies would be kind of fitting. But that's not really kind of on the long-term cards. Although what I really want to do is get off autocracy, even if it's just to oligarchy. Even if it's just landed voting, honestly, I'll take that. Although oligarchy would be just as fitting. It's a lot easier to get them to swing over to landed voting, though. The problem is that trying to form a government that has any level of legitimacy is almost impossible right now. So we will probably have to wait for a movement to be upset enough to actually change the voting system. So I think we'll wait on that, and what we'll instead do is just reform to a professional army. And we can actually convince the Orthodoxy to help with that again. Who's now powerful, by the way. Should be able to end this already. There we go. Purchase our subject. It's not very difficult. And we're just going to build a bunch of level 1s everywhere because it's going to be difficult to recruit people to this. I really need to switch to appointed bureaucrats at some point. Yeah, sure. They're offering to pay us 1,000 a week and we could really use the money. Oh, is our private, not private, our investment pool. It's technically private investment pool is slightly functional now. So I can afford to put a few more down. And I usually like to just do the 24 points for this because it makes all of the German states like you a tad more. But realistically, there's not really much of a difference to any of the ones you do. It almost functionally doesn't matter beyond your just immediate goals. I'm just going to make friends in Latin America and then forget about them. Because that's what you do, right? You make friends and then you forget about them in Africa, South America. It's probably not what you should be doing, but, you know. It's what we could do. With enough time and effort. Okay, we already have a professional army now. Spain? What happened to Spain? Ah, the Carlists won in Spain. I was going to say, that flag does not look like the Spanish flag at game start. Yeah. Yeah, so they won. Wow, that authority, even if it's decaying. I mean, they're giving me investment rights and trade privileges, which this early on from Spain is kind of crazy. I'm actually surprised. That won't hold, but I'm going to do it anyway because I think it's funny. I'm also going to have to spend even more money just to get more stuff imported. And then can I do a T-tax without this? It does kind of drop our enactment time by 3, or take 3% longer, but that's okay. We need to get rid of state religion and get rid of the bureaucrats at some point. We can actually bring in the bourgeoisie, who are already getting more and more power. It might be because the, whatchamacallit's already starting to lose power. I already forget their name. I am so sorry. The landowners. Jesus. I swear I've gotten enough sleep today. I want to switch specifically to appointed bureaucrats because that is going to make it to where we no longer need the aristocrats and instead just have more bureaucrats because bureaucrat qualifications are easier to acquire. Now, obviously, they're not going to be agreeable to this. So I'm just going to ask the Orthodox Church if they'd like some political concessions. Look, as long as God wills the change, it will come, right? That's how this works. It's not how this works, but I'm going to pretend that's how this works. Because I don't see any other way for it to work. This is going to push us into debt already, which I don't like. Especially the subsidies that we have going on. But I think we're going to kind of just pay no matter what we do, and we just have to decide what's the best cost we can afford. Our subsistence farms are now going to see a slight improvement. This will barely change the lives of the peasants already living in them. But, I mean, you know whose lives it is going to change for the better? All of those aristocrats who have to rely on it for their hard-earned money. Their lives have also barely changed. But they also recently got richer, so I guess it doesn't matter that much, does it? So let's get a couple of these mines going. Only 3 there, please. Right, we're not playing EU5 anymore. It's not the same. Actually, wait. There's gold here. Can we get the gold instead? I'd like the gold. Sick leave. Oh, there's no such thing as sick leave. It's not real. They can't prove otherwise. So we actually have a fair bit of bureaucracy now, which I am somewhat pleased by. Actually, tax transportation next, then. I know it's going to slow the enactment of the law, but we need to kind of staunch the bleeding that is our financial sector. Sure, why not? There's just not enough cannon here at all. There's never enough cannon. I will say it is a bit of a slower start, partially because serfdom is choking the economy a bit, partially because there's another flood already in the same... Wow. We've had 2 floods, and it's not even been 4 years into the game. Our economy is just taking hit after hit. My God. As reinvestment grows, this should get a bit better. In fact, I should allow the iron mines to get bought up alongside a lot of these urban buildings. Because if the investment pool buys up some, we'll be in a slightly better position, I'd say. Also, in case you're wondering, our pop growth has actually fallen because our standard of living fell. Definitely not because of increased taxes and constant flooding. I swear, you'd think the Yellow River's up here right now, with how often this flooding's already happening. We've already lost the mandate of heaven twice. Who can we negotiate with? Oh, really? Because the law is likely to pass. What can I offer them? I assume nothing. 105 to 302. I kind of like this whole, like, hey, we'll promise to do this thing if you pass this for us. But I don't like that these construction sectors lose throughput, so you actually end up losing construction. It's kind of silly. I'm just gonna see if this, like, passing just closes this. Well, it didn't pass, so it didn't close it. So we'll just close it manually. How are we on iron? Well, I was gonna ask how we are on iron, but half the country's flooded right now, so I guess we'll get back to you on that. Yeah, there we go. I think as long as we're below 50% of our total credit, we'll be fine. Maybe we go fight a war against Britain or something and just kind of get their lunch money, you know? Just bully them for their lunch money. Although clothing just got cheaper, so that might be fine. So, we already have appointed bureaucrats too. I will say the negotiation system does make some of this a lot easier than it otherwise would be. I have no influence because we're still boosting relations. Okay. We're just gonna let that play out in the background then. Where are we? Contested government still. Ah, but the Orthodoxy have so much clout. they're gaining 100% from political concession sponsor. And they're also gaining +7 approval. That's not broken at all. Interesting. So who is supporting wealth voting? It says it's the bourgeoisie. Is this because of meritocratic? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But they have equal feelings to... I see. Okay. This would be really hard to pass. I don't even know if I could get them to agree with the absolutist movement also opposing it. I mean, if we suppress it, I can knock that down. Let's suppress the absolutist movement and get it weakened first. Per capita already makes more money. I could do that then, yeah. I could afford to do that. We could afford to do that. You refuse to negotiate, could turn the tide. Right, the more clout they have, the less willing they are to negotiating, unless they really like you and the legitimacy's high and the ruler's popular under a monarchy. I assume that's in general, but we're under a monarchy right now, so I'm just going to guess it's the monarchy. Anyway, our economy is hopefully going to finally recover from the whole back-to-back flooding incident. And yes, I'm going to keep harping about it because I cannot believe we got 2 floods in such a short amount of time. Nope. Maybe don't build up the one in Moscow because it does not have the room for it. Normally, I build a lot of... I mean, we can still build like 20, 30 rye farms. We can still pull some of the peasants up from being peasants. That's the good news. The bad news is most of them don't get to leave their peasant lives, so... yeah, kind of sucks for them, doesn't it? But look, we found gold. You just have to keep like jangling the gold in front of people like keys, just to keep them focused. Hey, look, gold! Look, there it is. While we do something else in Poland. I know we're already red again on our bureaucracy. I plan to change that, but I'm trying to get some of this going, and that's because we changed our bureaucratic system. It's not because now we have to train up bureaucrats, but it's because our pops now cost more to keep control over. In fact, some of them are actually struggling with bureaucrats, but I'm going to have to just do it like this anyway. And then, of course, I am going to have to get more paper as well. Oh, God, I wish we had talented people who were capable of producing lots of goods in a short amount of time. And I will say the new monitor I have is coming along nicely because we have a lot of room to read the user interface. Now, I don't know if you noticed here as well. It's a lot more room to read everything while still looking good. Very much enjoy it. I'm just going to make sure we are actually, yes, we are actually capturing input because I had a tester earlier where input was not being captured and that was really concerning. And after fixing it, I felt better. And then I had to make sure it was still working. So war just broke out with the Ottomans and I wasn't even paying attention to it. So... yeah, we're going to stay out of that war. There's no benefit to it there. We're already paying a lot in deficits anyway. Who can we negotiate with? Ah, the Orthodox Church. Let's add some concession. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm pretty sure giving the Orthodoxy all this clout is just going to make it impossible to remove them from power. Especially, like, removing state religion at this point might now be impossible. But I find this to be so funny that I just have to try. Solely because I find it that funny. Oh, wow. I wasn't paying attention. The atmospheric engine kind of snuck up on me there. I say that because normally I try to have a couple of coal mines building before it's done. Was not paying any attention. Didn't even realize it was finishing. So, all those paper mills we just built, so well, some of them are going to have to wait now. But thankfully, we got some of them working. Working with quotations. Because in case you can't recall, a lot of people don't really know what a qualification is. It's a bit of a struggle. They'll get there eventually, though. You just have to give them time. All this for like another 6,000 ducats. Which I guess is still worth it. Speaking of which, there goes our mortality. We're actually getting 1 million people per year now, which is very nice. Oh, I was like, why is it not opening the page? Because I'm hitting the wrong button, that's why. And we're just doing that to the three of the steps here because if it goes, well, why is springtime active? I didn't even know springtime was a... oh! No, you wouldn't know what it must be. I think springtime is active. No, I don't think it's because of our modernization movement or the peasant movement. I think it's because it's active in one of the other countries because we haven't gotten the event for it. They made it now to where if journal entries like this are active and you can be involved, in some cases being involved is just observing the situation, such as when the Ottomans are going through their Eastern crisis. And so what it is the game is kind of just letting us know that, hey, this is active. It's happening in other nations right now. And it could maybe eventually happen to you. It also might not happen at all. Who knows? Because I don't. So, I'm going to take a wild guess and say the intelligentsia are not coming into power anytime soon. Just a feeling. And I think trying to enact wealth voting is going to be almost impossible, because getting the gentry to follow up on that. We're going to have to wait a year or two for the gentry to get over all the laws we already changed. We've already changed a number of laws. A dedicated police force is something we could pass again, but I don't know if you noticed we're in a bit of a bureaucrat deficit. Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about that event. The hungry... Well, usually it happens, it's the hungry 30s. But in this case, it became the hungry 40s because we didn't get a bunch of disease spreads in our crops until now. So it happened quite recently. Our reinvestments hit 63k now, with half of that being the manor houses and then 12k from iron mines or so. Well, I don't want to help Japan. I'd rather Japan be open for business so I can buy up all their grain against their will. Which definitely does not sound horrible at all. Actually sounds awful, but we won't mention that. Let's tax luxury furniture as well. Yeah, I noticed once our investment pool starts building a few things, our budget looks a lot better. Oh, that disease is everywhere up here in the north. And it's like in terms of disease, this is like a crop disease outbreak. Not a disease that's killing all the pops outbreak. Those are two different but both extremely concerning issues. We do need to build some universities soon to actually get our literacy or innovation going faster. Especially now that we've gotten access to the atmospheric engine, a lot of our iron issues are mostly solved. We're still going to have problems with it, but I'm going to reduce the payments that we're doing to the trade centers, because now importing iron is going to be a lot less profitable, which makes it more expensive for me to just facilitate. Oh, is that just that's a Piemontean uprising? Oh wow, so if that succeeds, they'll join Sardinia Piedmont. I am half tempted to help that, if not for the fact that it would cause problems. A random Russian American, that's why you exist. You know what? Come on in. So now there's two positivists, both supporting the modernization movement. Honestly, I'm here for it. I don't mind. I do not mind at all. Business of legislation. I will take the 5 legitimacy for no apparent reason. So is this staying at 16? It says it was falling to 14, so that is falling to 14. Okay. At least Sergi's actually loved, though. People really like him compared to the others. They don't like the others as much. Montenegro won't join, but they might join, but they might not. Anyway, now that we have a lot of our influence again, I see the Polish uprising elsewhere. We're going to go ahead and just make various treaty pacts here. I could do the guarantees of independence, but I kind of don't want to get pulled into a bunch of wars. I also just realized we could be asking for investment rights in some of these countries. But I kind of don't want to do that just yet. And that's mostly because I don't want our limited construction getting pulled in. Otherwise, what little construction we'd have up here is just gone. Oh, were they already considering a proposal from us? I think they were. Well, those of you watching already know that. I got distracted in about 5 seconds. Oh, Bohemian. Oh, I'm sorry. I misread that flag. That was a Bohemian uprising. I apologize to the Polish. I was not paying any attention. Which is probably not hard to realize. Oh, yeah. What are we going to do about Afghanistan? For now, nothing, really. I don't want to spend the money just to get a catalyst. But we can try to play with the winner. And by play with the winner, I mean boost relations with someone and hope that they maybe win. So it looks like Springtime of the Peoples is just going to pass by and not hit us at all. Which is fine. Europe is on fire and we're okay, so... Eh. Oh, right. We technically have a defense agreement with Belgium, but so does half of Europe, so... They will be handled without our intervention. Like, I honestly can just ignore that. There won't be any problems or issues with it. And now that we have... Oh, we're already incorporating Poland, right. Want to incorporate out here next for all of the mining territory. And then anything left over, we'll incorporate there. There we go. Anti-Ottoman League disbands, I assume, because the Ottomans... Oh, the Ottomans are a great power, actually. Never mind. Oh, the armed forces lost all their clout. I assume that's because the Orthodoxy is taking up a bunch of it, but, like, they really lost their clout. I understand why. It's because they no longer had clout coming from all the aristocrats that exist, but they dropped really hard. Kind of harder than I was expecting. And I was not expecting it to go well. See, I would love to do oligarchy. That would be a lot easier to pass. They still wouldn't be happy about it, but they wouldn't be trying to tear up my hair. We could pass dedicated police force to appease them a bit. It wouldn't be hard. And then we can just go for it. Yeah, let's do that. We probably want a dedicated police force at some point anyway. I'm actually not going to negotiate with the Orthodoxy in this case, because it's not urgently needed to pass. It's something that we can take our time on and still be okay. Man, there's a lot of civil wars in Europe right now. Oh, you know, I just realized Belgium would actually lose if we... Yeah, you know what? I'm actually going to stay out of it. I'm just going to let them lose. Which is probably not what I should be doing, but I've decided that's the course we're taking. Because why not? There's already a modernizer present now in the intelligentsia. I don't think he'd be very welcomed in government, though. In fact, I'm curious. There is a 27% chance we could get a modernizer now. Trying to get the absolutist movement to be weaker so that we have a... Oh, the Austrians are uprising now. Great. Anyway, I'm trying to... a modernizer in the gentry would be great. Russia is allied to Austria. Right, yeah. Never got around to breaking that. And I don't think they're going to be willing to negotiate a different treaty. Oh, they are willing to negotiate a different treaty. If I just give them trade... Okay. I mean... Sure. Ah, what do you mean you don't want to be our protectorate? Come on! It's a minus 197 desire to become a subject. Well, I just don't want to defend Austria from this uprising. I'd rather Austria get weakened. Oh, we're not building. That's probably only been going for a week or two. It's probably fine. It's not fine. Everything's on fire. The stock market's tanking. God help us all. Yep, there we go. So now we get a very easy, non-violent annexation. It does knock our memberships down, though, so we can't unlock the last principle until we get someone back in. But for the moment, it is a better circumstance. They immediately want a new defense pact. I don't like that idea, but I could agree to trade privileges. Which is not what they want at all. It's what I want. Just because I don't want to have to come to Austria's aid at a later point when the Brothers' War kicks off. If the Brothers' War kicks off, actually. I've been seeing a fair number of games where it just doesn't happen. Also noticing clothing prices have gone back up all the way to 40 plus 46. A lot. Yeah, just a couple of clothes in each. Nope. I keep hitting the wrong button. I'm trying to bring it back down, and I'm bringing it up instead. Which is not what I wanted to do at all. Sure, Montenegro. Oh, they'll join the power block. Okay, sure. There's our 10th member, everyone. That's all it took. I think I am just gonna... See, I don't want to make Persia a puppet because they could... Actually, no. Let's just make them a puppet now. That way we can take their money. Yeah, that's almost 9K a week right there. That almost covers all of our current interest payments. Which is good. Our financial districts are busy privatizing buildings. Some of those are government-owned, but some of them are foreign-owned, so... I wouldn't really say it's beneficial to us, except that maybe they'll start to build up more over time. None survive our scrutiny, buy or else. Hey, we can build the Penna Palace if we ever take over stuff in Iberia. Fantastic! That's exactly why we researched mechanical tools. There was no other reason for it. No other reason at all. So we should definitely invade Spain now. Do we just have disease everywhere? Is this just cursed? It's been... Why is this happening? So much stuff is just going... No wonders our standard of living is just slowly going down. Also, we were under the Hungry 40s, so everything was having a reduction to its agriculture throughput, which is a big factor as to why. A very big factor as to why, actually. I'm pretty sure grain prices just collapsed. Yeah, they took a significant drop. So hopefully with that, we get a little bit of stability again. And more importantly, we get higher pop growth. But I am still going to try to lower the price of clothing a bit, just because it is a bit too high. I want to say something like, we have so many peasants, we have plenty of jobs to employ, or to make still. But it's like, well, I can only use half the peasants. Do I really have that many? I don't know. You tell me. Oh, is this because they're not even paying full taxes, right? Yeah. Kind of forgot about that part. You know, the part where they're not paying their fair share of taxes, so I have to increase the tax rate to make up for it. I don't expect them to have the employable people for any of this. I really don't. But we're just going to set up another stage of it, because most of the... That's why I'm spreading a lot of these offices out, by the way, is so that each one doesn't have to recruit that many people to make it work. They only have to recruit a couple at a time. Which is arguably different from, I need you to recruit 20,000 new bureaucrats. Because there's not going to be enough peasants there for that. I can assure you there will not be enough peasants. I built 4 steel mills thinking 4 was going to be too many. I am now learning that 4 is too little, and I need to make more. Still running a deficit, but now that tools are going to be notably cheaper, the mines should make more profit, and construction will be a tad cheaper. The most important thing, though, is the increased profitability of places like the mines, which should help reinvestment, so reinvestment should be more consistent, which means a lot of other things should function normally. One can hope. Reality can be a bit disappointing, though. You know what? Random modernizer, sure, why not? Maybe you can agitate for them. I don't know. I've got a 94, 159. Well, it's definitely got its priorities out of order. Was kind of hoping to get rid of state religion right away, but I did kind of shoot myself in the foot with that, if we're honest. Let's try to pass wealth voting. I don't know if we can actually convince anyone here, because the orthodoxy is going to refuse since they're powerful now. Already letting law through due to high oh, right. If they oppose it, but they have high approval, then it doesn't let you negotiate. And then the gentry won't negotiate because they don't like it, and they're powerful. The ruler's unpopular. They don't like it. Did I mention that? They don't like the British, right? Yeah, they don't like the British. We could just embargo the British. Ah, there we go. Now it's only half as much. Really, it's just the absolutist movement at that point. Oh, and we're not constructing again. I don't want that right now. So... See, I kind of want to just build more paper mills up here, but they don't have the qualification. So we'll just do what we've been doing and just kind of spread it out a bit. I just forgot the gold mines. It's just the same circumstances before. Oh, you know what? We could take over these gold mines in Spain. Doing all of that so that the qualifications are very spread out. Britain embargoes us, that's fine. I didn't like Britain anyway. We'll probably unembargo them at some point, but for now, not yet. Not right now. Oh, you know what? I just realized we have sulfire pulping now as well, don't we? So I could get some sulfur mines going, and that will work beautifully. Get the lead mine going, just so I can switch the glassworks over. Not that we're going to use it much. This is going to be a bit of a deficit spend, but I think we're in need of it. And we actually have a new mandate. And it's going to be the company mandate, of course, because I want to get that extra company slot. I will probably sell Alaska to the Americans just so... Partially for the money injection, it is nice. But the primary reason is going to be so I can get rid of the Russian-American company. It's not a bad company, but there's other companies I'd rather have. Also, its premium production is... Or its prestige good is prime meat, but it can't access livestock ranches at all, so it's only from whaling stations, which honestly feels like a really bad idea to me, and it makes it feel like it's unwise to keep it. Now, I could just build these all in one state, but with how terrible qualifications are going to be to begin with, and also we're having infrastructure issues starting to appear, I would rather... You are now in deficit. Ugh. I would rather kind of spread it out instead. And with this, we'll have at least something to work with. We do have some sulfur mines running now. I don't know if I can I switch you all over? Do we have enough? We do. Which is good. That will probably crash paper prices a bit too hard, but from going to expensive paper to inexpensive paper is worth it. That's going to drop almost 10k of good, 10k cost in paper, which is then going to basically be afforded by the universities. Our reinvestment pool is still not having fun. We're still spending a lot of money on debt, which I don't like, but... Oh, hello. Yeah, you can tell I'm not paying attention because I didn't even notice this going off here. I mean, if we do this, we could basically take Korea for ourselves. Which is a funny idea. Mostly because then we can use it to make free grain. Right, they have serfdom. They can't do anything. Well, they're going to starve. Because enforcing the treaty article is pointless. Liberating subjects and humiliation is pointless. Tibet is useless. So the only reason to even do any of this is to help the Heavenly Kingdom win. But I think we want Qing to stay around just so we can take the land for free. It's a shame we don't have nationalism done yet, because then I could just take it. There's a lot of text to do over here. After we have railways done, I have a lot of text I need to get done. I think, because we're in debt and we can't get much out of it, we're just going to let this war happen without our input. Because we're already spending a fair bit of money. It's better to focus on our domestic development and ignore the fact that they're making banana plantations right now behind my back, and I'm really upset about it, but I have to pretend it's okay. Oh, private investment pool, never change. Never change, because it just doesn't get better with you for whatever reason. Hey, a revolution in Italy. I've seen this one before. It's a classic. Always ends in a dead rebellion. I say, as the Austrians move in to put the rebellion down. I suppose history is repeating. Or maybe this is just history beginning to form. Yeah, just spread them all out. Now we found more gold in lovely, lovely Siberia. I can only build 6 or else I don't have enough infrastructure. I don't think the gold mines are going to make us too much money as a whole, but they're going to make us something at least. Infections. Oh, advancement in medicine. It's 5 years of almost 7k, which I really don't like, but it's free tech. It's not free tech points. We're paying for tech points, which I do like gaining. So, with some personal reluctance, we are going to do it. In fact, I just realized the livestock ranches can actually be upgraded too, can't they now? Although tools are still prohibitively expensive, meat has value. And the rye farm is actually functional. Fantastic. I was not certain it would be, but it is. Yeah, so we'll still have some peasants, but we are going to try to modernize what sectors of agriculture we can. I don't think they're going to buy this up anytime soon. But you never know, they might. We now have access to rail transportation. And I see dialectics is almost done, which would boost our universities that we already built. We're technically already at our cap, but we may as well help that finish really quickly. Probably grab the water tube boiler here. Actually, probably grab Central Archives next, so collecting our taxes is easier and we don't have to train more people for it. Just kind of make it faster or cheaper in a way. We do also need to get some motors going. Not too many. What I'm thinking here is build 2 right there. They're already building railways as it is. So we'll just build 2 of them here, kind of subsidize those. And get it rolling. I also just realized, out here, when people move here to become peasants, if it's below half, they're just stuck as peasants there forever. They can't even go to work in the gold mines. They're just stuck, and that's really sad. Eat my bureaucracy. Go ahead and rush it. Actually, yes. I was gonna say no. I was just going to invade these countries to take them over. And then I remembered that we're a sovereign empire. We have the, power block that just lets us turn minor powers into subjects, so I don't need to invade them. I just have to make sure other people can't invade them before I get to take them over. Do we have an interest in? We do, okay. Oh, another event for pharmaceutical technology. In that case, let's just get pharmaceuticals done because I only need 3,000 points now. It won't take as long. So we'll get that done, get central archives. I kind of want the water tube boiler sooner, but we're gonna we're gonna have such a problem with qualifications. I don't know if I can afford to delay on central archives, given the arguably extreme cost we'll be faced with. Let's get 5 of you there and 5 of you there. Because I know these areas, while they're still struggling with qualifications, they should still do somewhat fine. I mean, there's some machinists, but when I say some, I am meaning a very tiny minority. Wealth voting might fail at this rate. They're back at 32. I have a better chance for a modernizer now, though. I don't know if that's going to happen. But they do have a better chance now than they did before. Alright, we can actually form a company as well that isn't a starter company. Technically, the most profitable one here to do would be the metalworks, but the fun one to do, which I did not set up for, would be groceries. The sole reason behind this is just I want more pops. Really, that's just it. That's kind of the whole thing. I just gotta set up a couple of production methods here. We should probably use our fertilizer soon, too. I say soon as if I'm gonna do it now. We'll probably do it in 8 years because I'll forget. I actually kind of want to switch off liquor. I think we'll switch this one in Kiev off liquor, let it focus on groceries, because that's going to be what ends up becoming the headquarters of the company that we're going to make. And it's probably a good idea to make sure that stays somewhat profitable. Ooh. That's right. We could build those, couldn't we? In Cuba Central. I don't think that has any value at all, but I just want to build a few of them for fun. Trust me, half the things we do here are for fun, and then half our fun ends up dying on us anyway, so. Peace between the Heavenly Kingdom and Great Qing. Great Qing wins. Fantastic for Qing. The future's never looked brighter. Please ignore all the opium in the streets. Health system, so I know what we can work on next. Why is... Oh, is this... I was like, why is this not showing me my layouts anymore? It's because I was switched to, abroad. Instead of domestically. But you see how the lack of engineers is preventing us from just getting anywhere? There's almost no engineers. We get a couple of them a month, but that's mainly from farmers and clerics. We need to get rid of the guild system. That's right, the guild system hurts quality. God, we're under serfdom and the guild system. This is just not fun. Although the guild system does mean some of the buildings are always owned by workers, that might actually be a problem in of itself. How else can we expect the rich to get richer and pay me lots of money? Right? Like, we can't have that. Anyway, I am also going to give them a monopoly effective immediately. So that will be fun. Sure. Actually, yeah. Why not? Try to get the industrialists to exist at some point here. I know they're upset from timed modifiers. That should heal if given enough time. Might raise taxes again at this rate. I stopped building. Look, the whole stop building thing is going to repeat a lot. I have not played Victoria 3 in a little while because of not just Europa Universalis 5, but other somewhat unrelated events as well. So it's just one of those things that it's just going to happen. My brain's not as focused on it as it used to be. We might annex the Baltic Governorate just to get rid of the East Germans. In a nice way, not a mean way. Oh, they already bought out 4 other food industries. Good for them. I like how this, Wait, that's fully employed, right? Yeah, it's fully employed. That's just a UI error. I love my UI errors. I love not collecting my taxes either that I'm rightfully owed, but oh well. Is this even fully staffed? Oh, it is. Wow, I'm shocked. Considering the difficulties in generating qualifications. I mean, yeah, there's like almost no qualifications being gained right now. Which is just not good at all. Are the mines out here doing fine? Well, I mean, yeah, we are subsidizing them, so we could probably just build up Poland as like a bit of a mining hub, as it were. The fun thing about this corporation, too, is that it's aristocrat-owned, so it's actually going to keep a lot of aristocrats. Which is not necessarily a good thing. I just thought, you know, hey, that's funny. Yeah, I've noticed that the gentry are just slowly becoming less and less content with us. Which isn't too surprising, but, you know, it can be annoying. So, Ottomans, what was your choice if you even chose? Oh, wow, Ottoman bureaucracy and reformed land code. The Ottomans actually changed something. Ah, so they did. They still have slavery, mind you, but they... Look, they got success somewhere. We have to at least acknowledge their one success now and then. So it's not completely miserable over there for them. It's already miserable enough as it is. Yes! And turn our intelligentsia gentleman agitator into a grifter so we get a 20% increase to our success. Please, for the love of God. It might be the only way this passes at all. It is just as likely to fail, though. We could be doing all of this just for it to fail at the end. And there's nothing I can do if it does fail. Should we use fish for the groceries? Considering our lack of ability to make grain, we actually got it to pass. I am surprised. I think given our inability to make grain, technically canned meat would help, but I kind of need canned fish. Because fish! I can get more fish. If I need more fish, I can get more fish. Grain and livestock are looking a little harder in that regard. So, none of them are going to join the party. What does it look like right now, election-wise? The Octoberists just win it hands down. That's not surprising. But once they have the votes, it'll be a lot easier to form a cohesive government that doesn't collapse on command. Could give the bourgeoisie some political connections or concessions. Same thing, really. This actually will probably hurt the... I just realized this will kill the intelligentsia, though, unless we get modernizers. You know, even with modernizers, I can't... Yeah, so we're probably just not going to have an education system at all, thanks to what I've done. Oh, well. I mean, the cadets have 10% of the vote, so I guess they're not completely helpless. And we can give them a small leg up, at least. Give them a chance. A fighting chance, you could say. But that's about as far as it goes. Okay, good. Yeah, machinists are just in short supply, I'm noticing. I'm not going to switch all of them straight away because I don't think we can afford the financial cost for that. But I can switch some of it over. Enough to where it'll be fine. Do this. Sorry, I'm getting several events at once here. Petition to pass the National Guard. I would kind of rather have the secret police. They're really good at this whole suppressing thing. The National Guard are great too, mind you, though. Especially since they make the condition impacts less terrible. But we kind of want the... Well, we want some movements to agitate. There's other movements we don't want to have agitate. I guess we can promise the secret police to them at some point. Can I actually get the intelligentsia? No. Even if I were to massively cut taxes. What I can do, though, is raise taxes. Since the government is so righteous. Which is not a bad deal. Except for the fact that everyone will get radicalized. But maybe I do. Maybe I want that. Maybe I want them to radicalize so the modernization movement gets to its 25%. Okay, something's wrong here. Because it's saying that this movement is expected to change to 13% when it's at 18. I assume it's because of the decay. And because, like, these modifiers here will disappear. Because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that's probably it. Because that's the only reason I can think of. Otherwise, the math's not there. Another flood? Are we serious? I've never seen so many floods in so little time in the same region. This is just insane at this point. How much paper? 920. That is a lot of paper. Maybe we just kind of do it like this. Just a lot of paper in a lot of different areas. And then build it up. And we promised the National Guard, sorry, the secret police, so I suppose we'll try to pass it. And promise some political connections to the intelligentsia so they don't oppose it. So it looks like authoritarian ended up rolling instead of modernizer. So we could support ourselves back to oligarchy if we really wanted to. Only if we want to. Not sure if I want to do that. It's one of those things like, do I want to establish an oligarchy? Probably not. But we literally have the opportunity if we want to. Just realized, how much construction do I actually need if half my peasantry can't become non-peasants? I actually don't know. It's like, that's a question to ask now, because I actually don't know. Okay, let's switch to standardized so we can grow the health system. I know that's going to increase our costs here, because now we have to pay for way more paper, but we have a lot of paper about to come online. If you discount the fact that all the paper is currently in the middle of a flood zone. Yeah, I didn't say this was smart. Oh, revolution in India. Modernization movement. More news at 11. Because I feel like we've seen this before. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like we've seen it before somehow. Yeah, missing machinists, I understand. Missing machinists. Nothing yet, but it will probably be missing machinists soon. I've noticed that is, like, strangely difficult to acquire. More machinists. So what do we do if we let this run? 10 legitimacy, constitutional order, or we can get a lot of popularity for a time. That's cool. I love how the area that has less prosperity managed to get to 100. Because it has 50 staffed building levels. This one, which has higher productivity, is struggling because it has less staffed building levels. I love the sense that it makes. I mean, it does make sense, but it's funny. Maybe we get a bit of fishing going on in these areas too. I don't think it'll work really well. It's just that issue of a lack of qualifications. A lot of them are peasants, so it just kind of ends up not going anywhere, which is not exactly what I would call helpful. But we have the water tube boiler. We may as well grab baking powder next. And then maybe do more of the tech over here. I'd like to grab joint stock companies. I just want to get baking powder, make groceries cheaper, and also improve their productivity. Maybe make them more profitable here. Speaking of profit, we kind of need more sugar, even though we've already got the wheat farm switched over to sugar beets. We could switch the rye farms over too, but then the liquor has to be made from somewhere else. Technically, we could get it abroad if we're willing to then trade Spain for it. I don't think Spain's going to drift into our power block by any means. Oh, we are absolutely welcome to try and make it happen. But I can't see it happening with them being a major power that's close to being a great power. I've also noticed that our activism in the modernist movement is actually weakening. The radical numbers actually went down a little. I think they just jumped back up, but they actually went down, which is a bit of a shocker, considering I expected it to just not go down. So we can invite the 3 that we plan to annex, but no one else. Excellent. But still enough to add a new principle. And honestly, given our circumstances, we're going to go advanced research because our literacy is terrible. And thanks to the horrible mistakes we've done, it's not really going to get any better. I hate this so much already. Thanks to Vinson for recommending this over the course of at least 1 to 2 months, by the way. I'm having fun, if you couldn't tell. Well, look, I'm laughing at least, so there's some fun to be had. But the lack of qualifications is killing me. I may need to just massively liberalize our citizenship laws to bring more people in that are hopefully qualified enough to do this, because my people aren't, and in some cases they're losing their qualifications because they're too foolish to keep them. Which is obviously not a good thing. So in fact, I might need to go ahead and just... I was going to say I might need to go ahead and drop taxes, and then I realized the horrible realization that we need to pay off our debt as well, so that we're not drowning in it later, because that's how debts can function if you don't pay them off. But most of the people are, I was going to say most of them are paying their debts, but our taxes are still pretty high, over 30,000 and unrealized. Yeah. Well, hopefully in a few years I can boost our literacy. I just realized advanced research only works. Yeah. Advanced research only works if you have an education system. We don't have an education system. So, Yeah. Really didn't think this rabbit hole through, did we? We kind of just jumped into it thinking we'd be okay. Man, the industrialists still don't exist. I love this, political stuff. Ooh. Maybe we could do it. Maybe we could pass it. The bourgeoisie are actually against the idea, which is a bit of an issue. Because I didn't realize that they were against it. Who's opposing this? Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's focus against the traditionalist movement then, just to weaken it a bit. Because at least maybe that way, between that and dropping the luxury tax on furniture so the absolutist movement stays down, maybe that way we can actually get off state religion and then enact private education. Which would then make my investments into advanced research actually make some sense instead of being extremely weird. Except the orthodoxy now oppose... Yeah, the orthodoxy not only oppose it, they ended up leaving the Octoberist party. So now it's an illegitimate government, and if we kick out the cadets, we no longer have any means to keep it going. Yeah, we need, let me try to do something here. Get literacy. Can I negotiate? I can to offer them political concessions, which doesn't really solve the issue because I need someone who's indifferent to actually make an agreement, but everyone who would be willing to is marginalized. See, there's no real path for it then. It kind of just auto-fail. It fails because the leadership changed. In fact, I'm curious. If I were to exile you, I then can't really get rid of you. Unless we arrange an accident? Nope, he survives, and it's condemned. They know about it. Cool. So we probably just let this fail, then. Because what I was going to do was then invite the agitator that we kicked out, but, well, that's not going to happen. Yeah, so in the end, there's no passing it or anything. So maybe next decade we can do something then. You know, next decade. So let's just go back to focusing on the modernization movement. Whose agitator we tried to recently kill, I'd like to mention. Oh, the failed assassination attempt actually gives a 15% booster to it. Okay. That's good to know. It doesn't, aside from giving us modernizers, it doesn't really help us much, though. Paying attention over here. I mean, I guess free trade would be good to have. I guess we could just go for that. And negotiate political concessions to the bourgeoisie to pass it. Oh! It rained up here recently. Nice little auroras. Yeah, the whole we don't know what an education system is really gonna just bite us. This reminds me when I played a run similar to this as Russia back in 1.6 or so. It might have been 1.7, but it was literally just going through it without reforming. So there's just no the Caucasian war closed? Wait, what? So can I just declare war on them then? Or I'm so confused. Why did that close? What? Anyway. Do you have the opium? Okay, this is getting silly. The right result. Oh, yeah! I forgot! We could just rig the election, couldn't we? Oh, I forgot! We can do this thing called electoral rigging. Wow. Man, I didn't think of that. Oh, we're gonna be so back now. Yay. And all I had to do was rig the elections of the new Russian government. Which doesn't sound wise, but we're doing it anyway. I know these aren't fully staffed yet, and they probably won't be for a while, but I'm building them up just so it's already there. I was just hoping for the best. Oh, Peru-Bolivia partially formed. Partially, it lost like half of Peru, but it's kind of there at least, if you squint. Maybe I should expand our trade networks. I'm not really expecting a lot out of this right here, the trade system. But I think if we just set up a bunch, it might help things roll around a little more. Probably not. Let's get the joint stock companies next. We probably want to get mechanized workshops too, though, but we'll get there when we get there. Monument worthy of the Tsar. A reformer now leads the intelligentsia. So I guess at this point we should drop taxes a bit. That way the intelligentsia have at least an unacceptable... Wow, they're powerful. They also can't do the whole anti-state religion thing at the moment because of, yeah. It's on cooldown for 2 years. Alright, let's go annex ourselves to Circassia. Just because we can, you know. Oh, the Ottomans joined. Okay, hang on. I need to mobilize everyone then. And realize that at least some of the army is not properly led anymore. Totally forgot about doing the army, by the way. Like, completely forgot about it. Just out the window. Not in my brain at all. Man, several of these are just missing their generals completely. Oh, mobilize you as well and get you to the border. Mobilize the ones down here, get them to the border. It's all good. And Krakatoa's going off in the 1850s. I think the world just hates us, chat. I think this game just hates us. I said chat because I've been streaming so much lately. Oh my god. It's kind of embarrassing to have said, but oh well. Do we steal Moldavia? I think we do. I think we steal Moldavia. No one's gonna come to help them, honestly. No one's gonna help them. I can steal Wallachia as well. I mean, people are gonna withdraw because of our new infamy, but... I will say I don't like the numbers because apparently they have a higher average offense and defense. Why is that, actually? Oh, they're actually using skirmish infantry. Huh. Neat. I don't think we can build the ammunition yet for skirmish infantry, can we? No, we can't. I don't see it there. Although it probably really doesn't help that 2 of the armed units are just not even organized right now, so that could also be wise. It's just they don't have any stats at all. They just suck. Yes. For the sole purpose of blockading Constantinople. I'll even bring a second navy to come help out. Even though it won't work well to their favor. Oh, is someone still set to attack? Yep, someone's still set to attack over there. I do want to push over here towards the Ottoman Empire's capital, because if we take that, it's over. But everything else, I'd rather not push forward, which doesn't matter because I hate this. I'm sorry to delay it further, but I have to go in and just set everything to only Russian formation. Because I kind of forgot that our allies can still use our formations and make us attack against our will. Even if we don't want to. Which, on the one hand, yes, if I set it up in advance, this is never an issue. On the other hand, it's kind of annoying to have your AI allies suicide you into near guaranteed defeats on the front line, because then you lose a lot of manpower, and that makes it harder. Oh, wait, the British joined? I'm going to be honest with you. I genuinely didn't see the British join at all. I genuinely didn't even notice the British had joined. That explains an awful lot as to why the Ottomans have so much strength. I was sitting here, like, silently wondering in my head, am I just this bad at the game now that the Ottomans can beat my Russia on their own? No, it's because when the Ottomans joined in, they then called in their allies, the British. So that's what happened is Circassia got the Ottomans to back them. Maybe Circassia was being protected by both, actually. That's also a possibility. They have the event methods to grab that. No, they're an Ottoman protectorate. Okay. Yeah, no, I just wasn't paying any attention, and then I let my AI allies charge our units into their deaths for the initial offensives. Which, of course, is what any good friend would do, I assure you. So I also need to just pull the ships out and guard my coastline. Which is not great. Well, they want to take the Baltic Governorate, which is definitely a lot further away. As long as I stay dug in long enough, I should be able to get an advantage again. And it looks like we got one advantage. But this is gonna be a little expensive and take a little while. Oh, can you not push that anyway? No, I guess it's pretty equal, huh? Yeah, I guess it is pretty equal. Oh, it was equal, now it's not. Opium addiction. The Azerbaijani people are obsessed with opium. That's good to know. Good to know. I, feel for their pain, I guess. So what we'll probably have to do is just fight this to a standstill until the British eventually leave. The problem is that the British probably won't leave because their war exhaustion is ticking up very slowly. We could just forcefully embrace the usage of skirmishers, but I don't think we'd be able to import enough ammunition to make that happen, which is of slight concern. I also don't know if these generals have enough stats for all of their new... They do not. Oh, good. Gentry Modernizer. I don't mind giving him a promotion. He might actually... These modernizers might actually come in handy later. Oh my goodness. So many things going wrong. And then the constructions I constantly need to keep doing, but there's almost nothing to construct. There's a lot to construct that we can still do. I need fertilizer plants, for example. The problem is just we don't have anyone to put in charge of half of these buildings, which is really, really bad. And I see that our army over here is just dead now and is just dying repeatedly in defensive fight. I assume these are defensive fights and that I'm not misreading the text. I guess just take their free stability point. I don't think we have any other troops to deploy to, yeah. Oh man, the fact Circassia became a protectorate of the Ottomans really sucks. Because it makes it a lot harder to take this. And then, of course, the Ottomans are allied with the British, so now you have to fight both of them. The only strategy we have... Who is attacking? I could have sworn I set them all to defensive. Right, no, because we recruited new generals, and new generals automatically start on offensive. And if you don't remember that, you're just going to bleed yourself out. Can you tell I haven't played in a while? It might be a little obvious. Maybe just a bit on the nose. Yeah, no, I think we just wait for us to have more troops at this point. Oh, that's not good. We're literally subsidizing... We're quite literally subsidizing our motor industries, and they're still struggling to maintain their laborers. Oh, I guess they're getting conscripted, yeah, but... I guess that's war for you now, isn't it? Yeah, I guess we'll just grab more authority for free or whatever. Also more subject income, because I don't have a better plan than that. Now, if we can push the Ottomans back and take their capital, hey, a Spanish Republic, then we could probably end the war that way. But my expectation is that it's going to be a long slog, and we may as well just settle in for the next few years here. It's not going to get any better. It's not going to be pretty. And pretending otherwise would be foolish. But if we can defeat the Ottoman Empire part of this, we should be fine. Oh, yeah, you, could just have him pass away now and get the enlightened royalist in charge, who would at least be open to ending child labor. There's no time to waste lying on a sickbed. That just sounds so poor. Like, such poor health. Or just, like, a really mean thing to say, I should say. Bureaucratic reform's already done. Before he even took power, it's already done. He's just that good at his job. It's just that good. Actually, I almost have a stable government. I noticed they renamed this to unstable government from unacceptable government. So now unacceptable governments are technically able to exist. Who is supporting this? The intelligentsia. I do want to get off the guild system just so our qualifications can grow a bit more because they are suffering badly. And we'll just persuade the bourgeoisie to not oppose it. We do want to get the whole state religion thing going, but I need to think about our situation when it comes to qualifications so that the economy can maybe exist. You know, Just a little. Just a little bit. The good news is that despite the slow advance they're making into Persia, they're actually starting to suffer a lot of casualties, which is preventing any chance that the British Ottoman army will be able to push in elsewhere and actually kind of nuke us from orbit. I am also going to just quickly note that doing any of like the plantation or agricultural companies, there's just no point for us here. There really is no point. They're all going to go to waste because they can barely expand them as it is. Ooh, Croatia. Where is... This is one of them. Steel mills in Warsaw. Where is the new Russian company? I need the Bessemer process. How close are we to that? If I'm willing to wait 2 years, I can grab it now. Oh, I don't even have the general staff. I thought I had general staff. Okay. Just considering grabbing the new Russian company one, because iron, coal, steel, that's all very good. We can also give it railways, which is really good. But if I can't do that company yet, I either rush it or we do societal tech. And I do really like the paper companies just because craft paper makes all of those like universities and bureaucrat administration centers more efficient. And considering the circumstances we find ourselves in, I think I actually will want this. Because, my god, I am not going to get that many bureaucrats. No matter how hard we try, there's not going to be enough bureaucrats. For a very long time. I think let's grab the Bessemer process anyway, though. Because we do have some outlying issues related to the price of steel. Then probably moving to steel frame buildings, since we'll have the steel. Or do we do labor movement? We might want labor movement. And egalitarianism. I don't know what political system will form, but we'll see. We'll see what it looks like in the future. If Constantinople falls, this war is basically over. Yeah, there we go. Because since Circassia is their protectorate, they're kind of responsible for keeping this war together. So, despite the British joining the war to help the Ottomans, we are going to come out on top. With a lot of blood on our hands, but we are at least going to come out on top. So, that's a very small victory. I mean, a fantastic victory. A huge victory. It will propel Russia into a new age. I can't do this right. Look, I'm not a propaganda master. You're just going to have to roll with it and hope this works out. Speaking of which, I am seeing the qualification lacks, and I am in so much pain in my head. The lack of machinists is horrible. And I have pops who can't become machinists because their literacy is extremely bad. I mean, like, it is atrocious how bad it is. But we have some trade systems that are working. We're actually exporting iron now, which I actually don't mind. Once the prices are low enough, I really don't mind exporting it that much. Especially if it just helps make continual profit. I don't know how we have negative trade capacity, but that's just a thing, I guess. Alrighty. And now let's go start another war. Yeah, I know we just got done with our war there, but what if we started another war? Just right away. We also stole Moldavia and Wallachia. Well, Wallachia? I might be mispronouncing it. I probably am. But we took those two, and we get about another almost 4K out of it. They're leaving? No one said they could leave. Oh, this won't do at all. I might have to annex them violently. Oh, and wow, 1859. Poor guy did not last long. Anyway, the intelligentsia era is dead, and then the heir of tradition is around instead. Oh god, I really wish I could raise taxes. But we already run an unstable government as it is. There's a lot of people who don't like us. I guess we could just make more iron kind of out here-ish, even though I can't use... How many of these can we actually even utilize anyway? The peasants. Almost none of them. We're actually getting down to the numbers there where you can't use any more of them. That's kind of sad. I don't like that. Don't like it one bit. Yeah, we're on free trade, so we should be able to just export everything without a paywall in the way. Oh, we are exporting over 1,000 iron, actually, which I think is good. It's easier to employ. Caucasian immigrants annexed. And we are now producing prestige groceries, so more pops are going to demand groceries specifically, which is great because I don't have enough people to employ there, so we're doomed. Anyway, in that case, we're just going to switch them over to prioritizing grocery production because obviously grocery prices are about to skyrocket as pops demand it over everything else. But that should at least bring grain prices down a little bit, just because it's used less. It won't do too much to the grain price, though. The right result. Yeah, we probably want to keep it that way, right? Yes. Although a land of want still triggered, so... Yeah, we kind of get whacked by it anyway, funnily enough. Weird to me how the Orthodox Church went neutral and they just don't care about the election system anymore. Like, they could care less. Well, they really couldn't. So I guess maybe when the anti-strike law eventually passes in 5 years, because the government is just forever unstable, we can end the church, state religion part of the church. Maybe. Probably not. Yeah, see how they're really buying into the groceries now. It's becoming more and more of their total expenditures, almost 30%. But there's no engineers, there's no machinists, so it's just the price is struggling and staying high, which I suppose isn't bad for some people, you know, if you make a lot of money off it. The problem is the people that we want to make money off of with it are not paying a lot in tax. Do we not even have a government now? We do if we bring in the Octoberists, which I find funny. Nah, just let Litva fail. There's no need to prop it up. Not that one, at least. So we now have this new interesting issue where food prices are expensive and they want to hire more people, right? But they can't hire more people because they're not qualified for it. And even if a peasant was qualified for it, they can't migrate because they're a peasant. And serfdom prevents them from migrating at all. Good news, though, is that they can't mass migrate away. So, we get something out of it, at least. Nope, the Orthodox Church is willing to negotiate now. Problem is that if I negotiate here, I don't know. I guess we'll just take the bureaucratic kit, the temporary bureaucratic kit over 10 years. Just to ensure it'll pass fine without issue. In fact, what is the full backing for it right now? Is it just the intelligentsia and checkpoints? Yeah. I mean, I could toss the intelligentsia out the ticket faster, but that really wouldn't solve the problem. I see the Tsar in Parliament is... Oh, there it is. I was like, I don't see it on here, but it's because it moved all the way up to the top. So the good news is that it didn't vanish suddenly out of nowhere. I just couldn't see it. Then I think we probably want to recruit some additional soldiers. Not too many, but I would prefer to rely on a fixed system of soldiers rather than having to continually raise the peasants from their fields. It's a little quicker this way, usually. At 30% of their expenses. I mean, this is slowly recruiting pops. The problem is some are leaving to, like, join other jobs that are better paying, so it's kind of a bit of an up and down. I don't think the new university is going to do too much. It'll give a bit of qualifications boosters, but until we get off our qualification killer, the guild system, it's not really going to be better. It's serfdom is what's really killing it, but I can't remove that because that's the challenge, is to maintain serfdom. So, yay! But at least we have 2.32% pop growth without the Orthodox Church liking me. Gotta fix that at some point, but I have to upset them more first. I do see our GDP is actually really good. We're actually third in GDP. Wow, okay. Qing's GDP has actually grown. That's odd. Oh, because... Oh! Because the Qing actually got off serfdom and actually did state redemption payments. Huh. Interesting. I have not gotten to see that from Qing. I haven't gotten to really see that at all in general, actually. So they're paying extra in land taxes then, right? Yeah, the extra 0.06 from tenant farmers. Oh, that's funny. I like that. That amuses me. Please pass. Please pass. Thank God. So our qualifications are still going to be awful down here. A lot of your peasant qualifications are pretty much dead. But your laborer groups will at least grow faster. And at the very least... Oh, subject to it also hurts qualifications. Oh, no, that's the open prejudice thing. That's... Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think that's going to just magically solve our issues. We'll join the October's Party in the next election. I guess if you really want to. So I can actually sway the bourgeoisie for political connections to help back kicking this out, which is great, except the Orthodoxy are angry, and I don't think they're willing to negotiate. Yeah, they're refusing to strongly oppose, approval, clout. Oh, home affairs. Oh, I didn't realize that home affairs get... Oh, country of men. That's what it means. Oh, I understand now. I didn't follow what that was saying at first, but I understand what it's saying now. I love how that made them technically happy, so they're actually helping out our bureaucratic system. Has Mexico been invaded by... it has not. Italy did form pretty early, though, and now is being attacked by a radical revolt. Oh, the United Belgian states exist, too. So there's a number of monarchy, or republics that exist now. I'm just hoping that with that piece of qualification destruction gone, the non-peasant part of the population will at least gain qualifications at a notably faster rate now. But I think it's going to stay this way until we can fix it. Oh, absolutist political movements will be replaced by royalist movements. Oh, yeah, that's right, because the absolutist movement doesn't die right away now. You actually need to change it. Alexander Romanov, 50 popularity. Popularity does help negotiate. So negative popularity hurts, but how much does minus 25 give us right now for negotiations? 1.25. Okay, so it wouldn't switch that much. It's probably better to take the legitimacy, since that would help us pass this. It would make the... Well, I say it would help us pass this. The reality is that we'll probably just fail here at the rate it's going. Yes, it is now a royalist movement, which is not as bad. So we could suppress... Well, we weren't even suppressing it to begin with, I suppose. So I think let's stop bolstering this movement. I need to suppress the Orthodox traditionalist movement. Not that I think we can suppress and weaken it in time. There's another flood again. We're not even 30 years in this. The area is so flood prone today. I'm sure it's not that unusual, and it's just I'm noticing it a lot today. But I feel like we're getting a lot of flooding. Like an awful lot. The game's got it out for me, I swear. And not in a good way. Well, we'll raise what few peasants we can out of their peasantry. What little we're allowed to, at least. Preferably in the areas that are not flooded to death right now. Those are suffering a lot, you could say. The Orthodoxy hurting us with pious fiction is going to suck, though, because our literacy is going to just drop like a rock. So we'll have to do something that appeases them afterwards, which would have been religious schools, but serfdom. I guess there's always oligarchy, but that's probably not a good idea. Yeah, I can't really appease them then. They're just going to be angry. You just have to let them vent their frustration for a while, I suppose. Or get them to support passing a new law for a time and then watch as they stop supporting it anyway. Artistic expression, that's good. I'll take the 7% success chance. It's a good start. And I think let's just move in to annex some of the neighbors. Why not? Because that's exactly the kind of issues we need right now. Okay, so the Orthodox leader resigned, and a new one, the historical one, took charge, and he's just as upset as before. So, nothing has changed. Congratulations. Okay, that's good. We might actually be able to break down the state religion a little bit. Might actually happen. I'm surprised. Oh, and clothing's too cheap now. It's actually losing money. Started treating the people too well. I mean, these are slowly getting more and more people to work in them, which tells me that the qualifications are growing a little faster. Partially thanks to the university, and partially thanks to the guild system being broken down, but we're still gaining very few engineers each month. But freedom of conscience will pass. We'll be able to get education going next. They'll actually boost the intelligentsia a bit too, since it's private. But since it's private, we're not going to get a lot out of it per level. But we have to try because it's the only education system we're allowed to use. And of course, the Orthodoxy don't like that, but we'll just have to do it. I'm surprised the industrialists still don't exist. I know we have an education... It's probably because we have the electoral system going on now, so they're struggling, but they're not even trying to join a party at that. At like 4.6% clout, they can actually join a party and become unmarginalized now. Oh, did we just straight up kill the Orthodox movement? Oh, no, just... Oh, yeah, it did, and then it... Oh, that's weird. Ah, right, because things just... I see what happened. I see what happened. Don't worry, I understand what happened here. And let's add some fine print about political concessions to the private schools, so now they're not opposing it. It's because now that they lost state religion, they actually got weaker. In fact, we could even go as far as to switch to secular administration. But I don't know if I want to get rid of the clergymen and add more bureaucrats who might be difficult to deal with. Bureaucrats who are difficult to deal with. That sounds funny out of context. And maybe for some people, that is probably very relatable. When can we sell Alaska? Probably never. Let's move you to East Siberia. I do see Spain lost land to Britain, which is... it sucks for them. I'll tell you that much. Do I want... I guess we do want the +1 standard of living. It'll make people less angry at us. There we go. We now have technically a 10.3 standard of living as Russia. We definitely aren't influencing this massively with multiple effects, and our people are definitely not starving. Sure, I'll get Persia improved kill rate permanently. That won't backfire at all later. I can't see that happening at all. Anyway, moved our units over here near Qing, because then we can just take this state for a tiny bit of infamy. And then the other two, we have to wait for Qing to, like, get in a war, basically. Having them owe us a favor would also work, but I'm kind of certain that's just not gonna happen for a while. We could form a treaty to squeeze out the obligation, but I don't know if that's necessary. How did those new farms do? A lot of them looks like they did end up recruiting people, so that's good. You know what I just remembered, and I'm sure someone is already screaming into the void about it. We started to build up our fertilizer and then did nothing with it, because, of course, that's just how I work. We make something and then we forget about it, and then we wonder why it's not working. Oh boy, I can just keep choosing the cadets party over and over again. I sure hope the favorite party wins. Is this going to be supported? Yeah, the bourgeoisie are in this, and the modernizers support it too, so I would just leave it like that as it is. Just kind of let it run. Oh yeah, the Orthodox are in charge now, so they get an extra just 10 from political concession appeasement, and now they're going to get another from that, so... I'm getting... So while they're in government, I'm getting +13 approval from the Orthodox Church, from political concession sponsors. So as long as I just let them sit in government, maybe I should have just let the Octoberists win in this case. I mean, they're winning regardless, evidently. Oh, they would support a technocracy? Ooh. A technocracy with serfdom, that just sounds wrong. But the gentry support it. The orthodoxy don't like the sound of it, though. Oh, but God, that sounds so funny. A technocratic Russia that it has serfdom. That just sounds like a different version of oligarchy that is so sad. And now that I've said it out loud, I have to do it. Because it just sounds too funny to me not to do it. Oh, good! Guess who we can give more political concessions to. So now there's no opposition to it. This is slowly entering territory where it's just cursed. Now, let's go ahead and get more construction. Since our taxes are still running at normal, we'll just get more construction going. We could actually drop taxes, too. Which, I suppose, is next on the list if things continue to run smoothly. But lowering taxes? Why would I want to do that? Let people have money? Don't be ridiculous. They're not supposed to have money. Oh, we just lost our only support for it because the gentry just changed to a market liberal by chance. Huh. Does anyone actually support this law then, or is that just out the window? It is, unless I could get the rule folk to agree, it's out the window. Yeah, so that's not happening then. That's... There's always oligarchy. I just want a technocracy because you get the extra company slot for it, so... Since the opportunity presented itself, I had to go for it. We didn't get it in the end, but at least we tried. Kind of want to switch to racial segregation. Though I feel like that might not work out in the end, actually. So the orthodoxy will eventually boost our birth rate again. We just have to give them time. Actually, if we enact state religion, I'm pretty sure it would just stay, right? Like, education would still be there. Speaking of which, really should get all those going. Let's have the authorities handle it because I don't want to spend more money. Then we'll get more construction going on down in the Caucasus and just build our construction highway in Siberia. And if that all continues to go well, we'll figure it out from there. I don't think we're getting any of the countries down here anytime soon. I need to renegotiate our treaties with them, I guess. And get, like, just squeeze in an investment right here or there. Now that we have a lot more construction, I'm not really opposed to doing some investment rights here and there. Something else we really need to do is consider building up the Navy, although I think half of this is just the Navy is dying in the background. Which is not good for them, but oh well. That might be why our declarable interests aren't high right now either, is because some of them are just not in charge at all. They have zero cohesion is what I'm talking about. Oh, they declined the new proposal? Oh well. That happens. So it's been really crazy. We've only really fought one true war. But we basically had multiple floods, and we've once again shown just how you can absolutely demolish your own political system with the new political favors that you can just grant out at will. Which I'm not saying that to be mean to it. I actually very much like the system. I just find it to be utterly hilarious how it functions. Because look at that. I am getting plus 13 approval from the Orthodox Church while they're in government from just political concessions. Which is really funny to me. And this is usually because we're passing things they don't want to enact, so it's just kind of like, what's going on here? Oh, landed voting would be fun. Because then only the aristocrats, capitalist clergy, and officers can vote. But oligarchy is always fun, too. In the game, at least. Oh, North Peru actually owes us an obligation, which is strange because I don't recall offering that to them. I don't recall offering them anything, actually. We could always export this, couldn't we? Yeah, we could always export coal. We could build up more coal. There's no reason not to. It'll be fine. Look at that trade network go. It's okay. It's a small amount that we're not using it. It's fine. Ooh, anti-British League. How scary. Scary indeed. I'd like to restrict child labor, but to do that, I need the labor movement. Oh, the Orthodox are giving us that pop growth bonus, but they're not powerful, so we're only getting 2.5% of it. That's just meticulous administrative influence. Yeah, I'd probably have to weaken the gentry more instead, which would mean firing half a dozen officers. Which is something we could do. Strangely enough, it's all gentry officers. I actually want to get the modernizers picked up, though. Since if a modernizer gets in charge, they could actually change things a bit, which would be nice. There's at least some farms we can build up, so it's not a complete disaster, but the thought that so many peasants will just stay as peasants forever really hurts. Not because I feel sorry for them, but because I know it's not good for the economy in the long run, and it saddens me greatly to say that aloud. Actually, maybe build these right away, because we have more farms coming up, and the price will get too high if we don't do it now. Yet, despite this, as Russia, we're in the top 3 for GDP, only superseded by the Raj and Qing, who have a lot more pops. Don't worry, that was just in the Raj, who have a lot more pops than us. So, you know, worry not. We'll get it ahead. We're almost at 100 million pops now, actually. 2.7 pop growth. Hopefully we can keep that. 2.7%, I should specify. So no one gets confused. The food industry in Kiev is effectively full on employees now too, which is good to see. We do want to be seeing that, because that means they're actually able to at least find and hire people. Let's remove the tax on tea, because I'm a trader who supports tea production, I guess. Ooh, exploitative practices. I keep thinking about it. What is that? Just like job attractiveness? Because the wage, I mean, the wages are already crud here. I really don't know if you could make it any worse. Industrialist job creators deactivated. Well, I don't care about that. Now, do I? Maybe a little. Maybe I care just a little bit. Right, you are a market liberal, so you technically support ending serfdom. So it's really sad that you're here, because guess what we're not ending? Ever. Oh, graduated taxation would be so nice. The dividend income definitely is better than our per capita situation. Although I don't know if I can use all the money in the end anyway. Because a part of my brain's like, you still have so many peasants, you gotta get rid of them all. And then my other part of my brain's like, yes, but half of those peasants probably will never stop being peasants. Let's see if they remove the, Oh, they actually did accept the suggestion and remove some of our infamy. Very nice. So, let's try to restrict child labor. The Orthodoxy get political concessions. The bourgeoisie get political concessions. There we go. And with their help, we can pass it. And now that it's likely to pass, the gentry are actually willing to negotiate because the law is likely to pass anyway. I don't want to give them political concessions, though. They can bite it. More railways. I do actually want this, but I hate the private construction contracts penalty. That just makes you have less throughput for building, so it just kind of hurts your economy in general until you finish it. Which really sucks. The combination X. I mean, again, I really don't care, actually. I think we're fine as is. Oh. Argentina and Chile can both be invited now. That's good. Now that we're done with the labor movement, actually, what next? All of these are done at Tier 2. Air 3 techs are open. We could grab central banking and mutual funds. I would like to get steel frame buildings at some point as well. Mutual funds is just good. I can't even use commercialized agriculture anyway, though. We could grab corporatism, which would at least push the orthodoxy to support regulatory bodies and wage subsidies. But it takes 4 years to finish, because we have a lot of Tier 2 techs that are not done. Let's grab central banking for now, just because that'll make us a tiny bit more money and make our interest rates a little less expensive. And then we might just go for steel frames into corporatism. Just kind of bounce from there. At least once we restrict child labor, we can get the 4th level of education. And although it's not much, we're going to at least get a bit of literacy out of this now. Ah, Russian National Awakening. I don't care that much about it. I had to note it. You know, it's there. Hello. And then just move on. Oh, yeah, when we invaded Kiva, I wasn't paying attention, huh? I didn't click annex country. I annexed the state, not the country. Yeah, my bad. Well, they're not even the same name. Like, I've got no excuse. I just wasn't reading when I clicked. Just no reading, no paying attention, no nothing. It just happened, and that was it. Oh, yeah, maybe don't build it here, actually. It looks like they're still struggling for machinists. They've just managed to, like, slowly plug the gap is all. I would like to get a welfare system going, even if it's just the poor laws, which we'll do next, because at least then a lot of the unemployed laborers can generate qualifications and eventually find a job, compared to the peasants who have no choice and therefore cannot. Because their lives are never going to change. Where they are is where they're going to stay. Well, in some cases, half of them will stay, and the other half might get a chance. They're going to have to figure that one out, though, themselves. Because that is not our job to help them with. Ever. Grain is cheap, at least, for the time being. Partially thanks to us using fish for the production, but there's plenty of fish to go around, too. It's also because, again, can't fully hire, so these aren't even operating at full efficiency. 777 construction. I don't feel lucky, though. That's the problem. I don't feel lucky. This has felt anything but lucky. Yep. Is this even fully recruiting? No, it's already striking at a limit. Where I can't find people to work. Because they don't have the qualifications. Oh, torrential rains. It's not a flood, but it's pretty close to one. Almost in Kiev again. This place has just been getting whacked from every direction. But it looks like restricted child labor is pretty much guaranteed to pass now, which is good. Right, you're on the defensive. I actually need you to attack. That would probably make this a little easier, perhaps, one might say. Just upgrade that to vassalization 3, get more authority per subject. Probably hunt down if we have any independent. We have 4 independent members. I thought we only had 2. I guess Montenegro is still a member, and Kokan is a member, yeah. That makes sense. Well, we'll make you a subject, and that kills the cohesion right off the bat. It's not really surprising. We already expected that to happen. The right result. Who do I even help win in this case? Oh, I'm sorry, the trade union exists? Since when? Since now. Remember how I said that if they have enough clout, they can join a party even though they shouldn't exist? Yeah. Welcome to the trade union. It would be really funny if we got into government. I'm sorry, this is too funny to me. I have to do it. Especially because apparently the government is just unstable now regardless of what we do. Which I find to be funny. Let's modern sewage into corporatism into steel frame buildings. Normally I would rush steel frame buildings, but with our peasant situation being as it is, I don't know if I want to. Although we do have over 1 million unemployed pops, so there is an argument to be made for more mass employment. You know, when people figure out what the hell a qualification is and we can actually get right on that. Or something like that. Let's delete this. Build a few of these there. How are we doing on cotton? Terrible. No one wants to work here at all. Actually, it's not that no one wants to work here. It's that literally half the population are peasants, and so they can't leave. So they're kind of stuck, which is bad. Anyway, the Brothers' War is starting in Europe, so that's great. It's real fun. Everyone loves being a part of the Brothers' War, trust me. No discontent there at all. Oh, they became powerful. Nice. Explains we're almost at 3% now. I probably should have just helped the Octoberists to win, honestly, because the legitimacy system is not going to improve. Oh, it did improve. Never mind. Huh. What do you know? Nope. Just put him back in jail. Put that radical agitator back in prison. We do not need him stirring anything up. I very much assure you that we do not want that. There we go. That should finish easily. Dependents now make less income, but we can get a higher level of education going. Edumacation, as one might say. And of course, crisis identity deactivated, which I think is just what? Negative assimilation, which honestly, I'm going to say, thanks to the changes with fervor, where assimilation feels just so exceptionally slow now, crisis of identity just isn't a penalty anymore for Russia. It wasn't really much of a penalty to begin with, but I would argue it's very much not a penalty at all now, because, like, who cares about the assimilation at this point? It really doesn't change your math or calculus at all going into this game now. I really want to switch off wealth voting to oligarchy just so I can reform the government at will. Plus, I really feel like that's more fitting. I mean, they'll all get upset about it, but you know, a couple political concessions. Although I really would prefer to get technocracy, so I might wait until we get certain pops that we'll probably never get ever. It might be better to just form a oligarchic government. Yeah, let's do that. And we'll give the intelligentsia some concessions so they actually don't oppose it, and the trade union's gonna be just like, what? Oh, Argentina has been made an American protectorate because it wasn't paying any attention. Well, I guess that doesn't matter too much because I want the Americans to rival us. I guess, you know what? In that case, you're never getting Alaska then. If the Americans want to treat me like this, then I guess I'll just, I'll go make friends with Mexico. Even offer them an obligation. You know? If the U.S. wants to muscle in on our business, we'll muscle in on theirs that they've somehow spectacularly failed to capitalize on this entire time. I'm not sure how they managed to do this. By doing nothing, I suppose, which is technically true. Man, I just realized, am I going to have to think of automation at some point now? Because all these peasants in certain areas can't work, or in other areas like here, they just don't have the qualifications and therefore can't lead the plantation anyway. Or the subsistence farm, I should say. God, this sounds awful. Why are we letting this happen? Well, one can guess why, but yeah. God, I just realized I forgot if we wanted to maximize the birth rate, and this is because I haven't played in so long, I needed to switch over to the religious power block for another 5% bonus, which honestly, that 5% would mean we'd be at 3% pop growth right now, but we are in 1868, and I don't feel like restarting. And even if I felt like restarting right now, I still wouldn't do it because that's just pointless. So what we can instead do is try to just reduce mortality further and, well, let's just say literacy isn't going to get too high, so there's not too much to worry about there. Modernist revolt in Qing. Well, unfortunately, I don't think that counts for this. Oh, they're fragile. Oh, wow, they're super low on their fragile unity. China might shatter at this rate. Because they're down to 1. Oh boy. Republican coup in Brazil. Technology spreading in Bavaria. Oh, Bavaria is a subject of the North Germans. That's funny. And Hanover is just... Oh. I guess the British made Hanover a protectorate again. Eh. Oh, them being in a civil war counts for this? Really? I want this one first. Actually, we could take both, but I need to make Kokana subject first. Because then I can grab this piece right here as well from them. And there we go. We have abused Qing to our own advantage. Then it's either get ruler of the East indefinitely in this area to make the armed forces better there, or you make the shipyards and ports better here. And I'd rather just make the shipyards and ports better. It's going to be an area that suffers no matter what anyway. But at least it'll be suffering under our glorious rule, which doesn't sound any better, but I'm going to pretend it's better. Because why wouldn't it be better? No one's told me otherwise. Can't imagine why. Yeah, that whole lack of employable pops is a bit of an issue, isn't it? Yeah. Well, after the oligarchy is formed, we'll try to change things for the better. Keyword is try. I kind of want to go investing into steel, but then construction kind of just stops, partially because I'm not paying attention, partially because I know I'm being a dead horse here at this point by saying it, but we are really lacking in qualifications, and I have to keep harping on that because it is a genuine issue. We are getting a couple hundred machinists a month now in Kiev, though, so it is clearly getting better, but not that much better. It's just less painful compared to before, really. If you think... Another flood. I can't with these floods. All the market access price impact you lose. It's such a pain. So, yeah, because now I can get the industrialists in the power, and the industrialists will at least... Oh, the trade unions are also dead, too. Fantastic. The industrialists will at least push for poor laws. I know later on we can just use the... You know what? Yeah, if I can use them to push poor laws through, maybe we don't do... corporatism. I mean, I do want regulatory bodies at some point, but I think I can afford to just move that around a bit and wait. I'm thinking we form one with the orthodoxy, one with the industrialists. And then, of course, we enact some form of social welfare. I kind of don't want to give the gentry political concessions, but it also makes it really easy to pass this. Religious workhouses to poor laws. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll make it cheaper, bureaucratically speaking. Also, it'll keep the orthodoxy powerful, so that's funny. Oh, I guess we gotta mobilize now. And I'm guessing you're still a major power, right? No, you're actually a minor power now. Interesting. And Mexico is willing to become our subject. Fantastic. So, the United States made Argentina its subject. We have made Mexico our subject. I believe this is perfectly fine. I also am just going to activate these. Oh, and the Germans, the North Germans have actually joined on our side too. So that's lucky. I know it was hinting that they were leaning in their favor, but I wasn't certain that was going to happen. And you know what? In the end, it did happen. So this is probably just going to be an easily won war then. I do see that we're having an issue with convoys. So let me just build up the capital a little. Build over here a little. Is this being incorporated? It needs to be. How many people in Ingria can actually not be peasants anymore? Basically none of them. Yeah, effectively none of them, so that's good for them. It's very good for them. I'm happy for them. I'm not happy at all. Not happy at all. But I have to pretend that I am. Can't have people be sad. Oh, Canada formed. They still... Wow, the US is really just not having a good game. Which is fine by me, given the circumstances. Just push all the way to DC. I wanted to sell Alaska, but the US just had to make itself our enemy for multiple reasons. So it's just like, you know, I wish we were on better terms, but, you know, they just forced our hand, so we don't have a choice. We're just going to have to beat them with a stick until they stop, which is never going to happen. They're going to just keep going. I don't think we need... I mean, I guess we could use it, but I don't really need it right now. Oh, God, the lack of employed pops here still is really hurting me. to the point where certain textiles are starting to just downsize because they can't recruit people. So I just activated the automation for one part of it. We'll see if that changes. I see the number of peasants has actually increased. Unemployment is stalling out, though, so that's good. We'll see where it goes from there. But I am definitely feeling the pain, because our literacy started going up a lot later, and our qualifications are down, so it's just choking everything else. It's kind of having a very, very painful knock-on effect. Intelligentsia, and industrialists. That's pretty cool. Alright, we at least have some kind of welfare system now, which should at least mean the pops that don't have a job stop starving to death. It's not going to change too much, but, you know, less pops are dying, that's always a good thing. Maybe in time they'll have the qualifications to help other pops exist. Well, one can hope at least. The reality is that we're probably going to keep suffering for a very long time. It's not even a joke anymore at this point. Like, I'm expecting the suffering. It's almost mandatory now. You will struggle forever to find pops to work in the workplace. There will be no alternative. There will be no other option. Let's get some more wood going, because now that we're investing into a lot more furniture, we're going to need more. We're also spending a lot now, but that's probably because the investment pool isn't fully utilizing itself. Mostly is. It's probably because we just plop down a lot of extra buildings at once. But that is feeding the economy, which is good. And welfare payments are pretty much at about where I expected them to be, just 15k. It's not that bad. I'm pretty sure the main... Oh, secession in Iberia. Spanish uprising against Britain. Oh, funny. What are the Americans going to lose here? Just Utah and the Indian Territory? That's really, they should have gone for more than that, but oh well, I guess. Yes, let's make this one a little more one-sided in our favor. There we go. Oh, Japan's willing to give us the same treatment. Treaty, not treatment, although it's probably somewhat similar, if you think about it. It's good to me. Can invite Greece in now. Can eventually subjugate Chile. The Sequoia. That's great. Who is this? A sovereignist. You know what? Out of morbid curiosity, I'll say yes. Even though I don't think he can help us at all. But I think it'd be funny. I am noticing the game performance does not seem to be as happy since I've last played. I don't know why that is. But it definitely feels to me like the game is having a bit of a struggle bus when it comes to performance right now. I don't think I've changed anything, but after we finish this video, I am going to have to just dig into everything and make sure nothing got set back to factory settings. I don't think anything has, but just because I think it hasn't doesn't mean it didn't happen. It very much could have happened, and I wouldn't know. So we're starting to see a bit of depeasanting in Kiev, but it's never going to be a full amount. The fact it's never going to be a full amount is insane to me. Yeah, so like what, with level 2 welfare, they'll probably be up like 7 or 8 standard of living with the healthcare system. So they aren't losing more pops than they gain now. They're still below their expected standard of living. Oh, British Republic. That's a lot of republics that are forming. That's kind of scary. But they're also not like actively dying anymore, which is good. And some qualifications do require a certain wealth level before you can actually start gaining them. And higher wealth levels or higher literacies, depending on what it is, does boost it more. Although we are talking base wealth level, not current SOL. But it's helping our pop growth at least, because these pops aren't actively starving to death anymore. Does greatly increase the welfare payments that we have to do. But I think it's worth it. Considering the circumstances arrayed before us. Largely by our own doing, but, you know, don't tell anyone that. Building 10 buildings here. Ah, the wood, yes. Yes, the wood. You just switch one of them over to regular wood from hardwood. But, as expected, a lot of that is going to just be issues with Wanting more tools that we do not have. I actually build like 10 there, 5 here, because they have a lot of unemployed now. Probably a couple in these areas too. They are struggling some with qualifications still, but as more people get employed elsewhere, they should be able to gain them more at a faster rate. But it's definitely hobbling and slowing us down, because otherwise I have a lot of these subsistence farms here that I would have just built up at this point. There's still a lot that I can build up, but I can't concentrate it as much as I normally would. Italy Radical Revolt. That sounds like fun. And Mexico is now a puppet state, so if anyone wants to beat its head in, it has to come for our head first. Also, of course, by having Mexico in the market, that's great. We can utilize their grain for our own needs, or in this case, all of their dye production, because, yes, dye. Oh, Hanover is just getting shoved into puppet status, not papacy status. Goodness. Can I actually put the intelligentsia into power now instead of the industrialists? Although, oh, they would support technocracy. That is true. And that's just because the intelligentsia are so powerful that they can't really be ignored. The issue is with technocracy, the industrialists and the gentry don't like it. Technically, the orthodoxy don't like it either, but they're too loyal right now. So maybe we switch to that. Try to... God, wow. So the clout is just aristocrats, capitalists, and then clergymen. Of course, they're getting a buff from oligarchy, and we're trying to switch it to technocracy, because the technocratic Russia with serfdom just sounds funny to me. It also doesn't make any sense, but I didn't promise to make sense here. So I think you're refusing because you are greater than 2 steps. Yeah. Yeah. If it's too much of a wild swing from one law to the other, so oligarchy to technocracy is a good example of this, they will just outright refuse to negotiate at all. It's too much of a swing from one side to the other for them to even stomach the idea of a promise in exchange for dropping their opposition to it. It's just way too much. Oh, you don't have enough workers again. What happened? I mean, you built up, obviously. You have more to sell, but why? Why would you do this? You could already sell it plenty. So it puts them at 8, which is going to help the pop growth a little bit, but more importantly, with the modifiers, they're no longer continually radicalizing, which is good for stability. Very good for stability. Yeah, let's take the plus 10. 2.83. God, it's so close to 3%. If I had maximized it out, but I didn't. Which is great, because it means our employment's actually growing faster than we can build up on. Which is great, because now I can go ahead and just use steel frames and build more at once. We do need explosives, because we didn't really invest into explosives, but, you know, we weren't really using them either. Probably should have been using them the whole time, but oh well. Oh, we have a singular one at least. Which I suppose is better than having none of them. Alright. Realist movement. Camera, please. Because that will make things a tad easier. Can't hire anyone. All these places need to hire people up here. Over 170,000 unemployed. Still can't find anyone to work the shift. That just sounds sad. Oh, we have the largest GDP, though, despite being constrained by serfdom. Of course, we're Russia, so we always had that good potential to begin with. But it's still pretty funny to me to have that potential anyway. Oh, you really don't want that, huh? Yeah. What if I negotiate a separate treaty here for it? Maybe offer you trade privileges and an obligation. Yeah, there we go. It's not enough to get it to 200, but it gets it close. Gets it closer, at least, which is better than nothing. Okay, we've managed to get over 2 hours. Fantastic. I didn't think... We're still going to go a bit longer. Don't worry. We're not ending it right now. But we will probably find a stopping point soonish because I did not get as much sleep last night as I planned to. I got woken up by a random phone call that I'm pretty sure was just spam. And then I couldn't go back to sleep. So that's good. Really need to make sure that doesn't happen again. It's also because after I'm up now, then the dogs want to go outside because, you know, hey, we're awake. It's time to go outside. Because they're very used to that. And so I can't go back to sleep. I have responsibilities that have woken me up now. Oh, I feel like the trick here is to just build a bunch of universities so all the unemployed pops slowly learn a new trade or craft and then can eventually pass it down to their children in 20 years and partially solve our qualification crisis by just training the next generation themselves and hoping it all works out. It's probably fine to focus almost all of our steel production in one area. I can't see this going wrong. Yeah. There's no way it goes wrong. No need to worry at all. Wow, look at that 3.37% pop growth. That's really nice. It would be even nicer if we got rid of child labor. You know? Oh, the new machine. Doesn't give us too much. We're actually going to pass this. Wow. It's a bit easier than expected, I'd say. I'm going to go ahead and end the liquor tax. Not to be nice, but just because we don't need it anymore. So I figured, you know, have a tiny tax break. You can now drink yourself to your heart's content or to your heart's death, whichever you prefer. The government will no longer stop you with a tax. It will, however, stop you if we run out of money. Oh, they reformed into a different country. That really confused me when I looked at the map there for a minute. That is actually amusing, though. Let's go ahead and get you annexed now. Alright, corporatism is now in session. And they're actually being led by their reformer who can appear now. Okay. Actually, if they're being led by the reformer, I really should grab human rights next. That way I can end child labor. Hey, we've fallen behind the rest of Europe. This seems familiar. Hopefully our literacy rate can eventually get high enough to fix that. Croatian mass migration in Tomsk. Hey, we finally have a civil war threat. It's the Uzbeks. Who are probably pretty upset with us anyway. We never did incorporate any of the territories over here, did we? We did not. You know what we could do, just to be really funny, because the opium trade thing still exists. If we really wanted to, we could make the British obsessed with... The British are already obsessed with opium. Well, I'm going to build it anyway, just to see what happens. Italy wants us to invest into them now. Very good. See, this is how you fix your serfdom-based economy. You just diversify outside of the economy. Preferably far away and elsewhere where it can't be touched. This won't actually fix the economy at home. It just gives you a lot of money to utilize for yourself. If you want to fix your economy, that's a whole other thing. Don't worry, I'm talking nonsense. You don't actually need to follow any of this. It's okay. I actually have to, like, check these areas now to see, like, do you have enough peasants for me to recruit? Or will this building just get nothing in it? It's really weird. Germany's going for unification. They get to have fun with that. I'm not. I have no reason to get involved. Good, though. Oh, wait. I could... Is that a second Heavenly Kingdom? That's a second Taiping Rebel... Oh. Didn't know I could trigger twice. And apparently that was enough to shatter... Hey, look, Duva. China. Except the southern half of China exists as its own independent entity now, which is really funny to me. Huh. Yeah, oh, annex sub. Oh, that'd be really funny. I forgot to mention, I am playing on the open beta build right now for Victoria 3, which fixes an issue where things like make protectorate were just costing 2 points and that's it. Like, literally, it was just 2 points and that's it. Very silly. Thankfully, that's fixed. Doesn't work that way anymore. I mean, I don't see a reason not for us to invade. I think this is a split state, right? Or have they changed that? They have changed it. It is no longer a split state. That's good. Warlord state. Although I know historically Russia annexed this during the interwar period, right? No, I think it was 1930s, 1940s. We're going to speed that up by multiple decades. Oh, the Ottomans joined that war too. Wow, that is becoming a big war. Honestly, we could join it for something, but I don't really think I want to. I mean, Russian Siam, anyone, perhaps? Well, it gets all their subjects around it. That would actually give us a land border with India. Oh, that would actually give us a land border with India. You know what? I'm sold. I'm sold. Let's do this. Let's go beat up some French. Oh, the British broke their treaty with us and became antagonistic. Well, at least they're the ones who gets to suffer for it. So, could be worse. Is this gonna go to civil war? No, it's just barely militant. I mean, it could, but I'm doubtful. What do we need to do to trigger the opium trade to be finished? Cash reserves greater than 50, so it's just a waiting game then. I mean, the pops here are already being paid basically nothing. They're destitute, so... Yeah, how much of this have we imported? Most of it is not an import. I guess Persia... Has Persia just been making opium this whole time behind my back? I guess they have been. So are we still the Russian... We're just Russia, okay. We're Russia, but we're a Tsardom still. Which is funny. Oh, yeah, peasant reform. I can't finish that. That's weird. I can't finish the peasant reform. Okay. Well, let's get the new Russia company going then. Let's give it railway rights. And actually, not just railway rights. Let's give it a monopoly on the railway. Maybe the iron and coal industry, too? Yeah, why not? Could also do steel. Should I do it? I should do it. Why not? Make everything more expensive. Monopoly on paper. Monopoly on logging camps. Because the government needs to pay more money. Yeah, immediately paper prices go up. But you know what that means? All of those industrial goods went up. I pay more money for things like paper. But that also means our GDP is higher. So I get to artificially inflate our goals. Because that's just how we're going to do it. You know, all that iron and coal get more expensive now, too. I did not set up logging camps to be bought. Well, I mean, they can be now, since we just set the monopoly. It's going to do it automatically, but this whole time I had forgotten to do that. I don't want the -10 bureaucracy, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I don't want the orthodoxy to get so upset that they stop doing their be fruitful and multiply bonus. Because I like extra pops. They will support wage subsidies. Wages building wage target. I don't know if we want that. We do want to grab regulatory bodies, though, just because we're wanting... It isn't showing it here because it's buggy, but what it's going to do is -20% dangerous working conditions per level, which is something that we do want. We are going to offer concessions to the intelligentsia, and then maybe the industrialists? Political concessions for the industrialists. Yeah, sure, why not? Just to weaken the stall chance. We actually don't need to be using it for that. We could probably pass it just fine with the orthodoxy and the intelligentsia both backing it. I'm just choosing to do it. Oh, wow. Because I think it's funny. Well, less that I think it's funny. It's more so that I want to use it to show it off more. Because I think it's just a neat addition that they've done to the game, personally. And so I kind of just want to show it off a bit here and there. I don't think this is going to make any progress because brewing insurrection, well, You got me. Oh, I can't finish this. I need to have public schools, which is impossible with serfdom. We can't have interventionism either. We can't have command economy. So this isn't even possible to finish. This isn't possible to finish, so this can't be done. So wow, like there's so much you can't do. Well, we can at least get the Siberian Railway going. You know, just because. Because who doesn't love, there's already one there. Who doesn't love trains, right? I know there's already some there. I just want to build it. Just let me build in peace. And we'll just exploit the Polish territories for more iron and coal. This is already at 57 buildings, and 15 of them is just the railway in Kiev. Which makes a lot of money, I'd like to add, because of a certain corporation. Opium barons. So, you know I have to do it. Yeah. So now both the English and the Scottish are obsessed with opium. Good luck, Britain. You now have opium fiends at home. So right now the Scottish are actually paying, because it's stimulants too, right? No, it's not. It's luxuries. They're paying about 23% of their amount is opium. And now that 23 became 29. So it already grew by 6% on just this small group of Scottish pops. Ah, opium. Technically, this will be a benefit for them in a way with the Dominion of India still, you know, until I maybe eventually rip it out of their hands, in which case they're doomed. Wait, I'm confused. Are they at war with the British for an unrelated war? Oh, yeah, they're going to seize Cambodia before we can take it. That's unfortunate. I mean, we'll still get Siam and its other subjects, so it's not as if we're losing a lot. What is happening? Oh, there's 3 Spains. That's funny. That's actually so funny. I need to take a screenshot of that really quick. There's 3 Spains. Oh, God. That's just really funny. We're almost at 200 million GDP about 40 years in. We haven't really switched over to steel as much as we probably should. I'm being a little cautious because we have all these peasants that I can't use. But with how high our pop growth is, our unemployment has actually been increasing. So I know we're on a deficit of glass. Don't worry. That's actually just giving me a good excuse to build glass workshops in a lot of areas. And then seeing if it goes anywhere. Except here, because I know it has no peasants. No peasants that we can recruit because the half that are here are locked in. They can't get out of it. They're stuck. Ooh, is regulatory bodies going to finish? Are we going to see a pop growth increase? It's at 2.77 right now. And now it's at 2.78. A whole 0.01%. And then we're going to just arrest the industrialist right after because, yeah, it gave me the chance to, so I'm going to do it. It doesn't offer me anything. It just, it gave me the opportunity to do it, so I did it. It's literally the definition of I just did it because I could. And that was the only reason why. There was no other reason for it. It's just because I could, so I did. They want taxes set to very low? No. I guess, because I really do want schools to pass, even though that's a lot of bureaucracy negatives. But then we could get the Orthodox Church. Fine print about unfunded school supplies. Oh, that hits. Parent laws, private schools. Oh, that's so realistic. Oh, that hurts. It hurts dependent income. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I actually don't like it, but I'm gonna do it. So, yeah. And what can I offer you, industrialists? They want us to more than double railway or heavy industry. How about no? How about we just move on with our lives? So that's a lot more construction we have going now. And there's more I can switch to. I'm just waiting for glass to... Well, actually, I think I can do it now. I think they just bought up all that glass. We are going to start... We are deficit spending already, and it's going to be a huge amount of deficit spending, but... I think it might be worth it for the economic growth that we gain. Yeah, they're just importing a lot of it. Also, the deficit might be because of the whole, you know, suddenly the bureaucratic system is not functional. So we'll just have to fix that too behind the scenes. Yeah, it'll be fine. This will work out. Yay, we now have Siam. We actually only got Siam, I guess because, yeah, they had made Siam a puppet, so they got all the others as puppets already. Which is kind of annoying, but we got Siam, which means we have a land route to India if the Burmese don't win their war. Ragged schools. Orthodox, devout population attraction, bureaucratic cost reduction. You know what? I'm only gonna do it because I think it's funny. And because it's probably really interesting to test it out and just see how it impacts the attraction of the various pop groups here. Because remember, they lost a lot when they lost the state religion law. So there was a good deal that they had that they lost. Let's just hit the power block embassy. So that's actually going to open up all of southern China to trade for, not trade, but construction and purchasing. That's fun. Unfortunately, they didn't maintain serfdom, so we had to shun them like they're backwards. Even though that's not how that works here, but oh well. Argentina is now protector of the Ottomans, so maybe... Oh, there's been a coup in Austria. I just saw the notification there. Interesting. Oh, it's a dual monarchy, too. Cool. There's a revolution of the Ottomans right after winning a war. Please stop being realistic. It hurts. The Empire of Korea. Well, everyone's entitled to their opinions. Korea is no different. And Japan has a revolution now. Noticing a continual theme with all of these radicals. Oh, wait, what? Oh, wow, they actually formed? Wow, Afghanistan practically never forms. I'm actually really surprised. Southern Turkestan, I would like to take that. We could also let them take Southern Turkestan from us. I mean, what does Turkestan have to offer? It has iron and coal, but it doesn't really have much. I mean, if negotiations break down, I probably don't care that much, right? I mean, do I really? I actually kind of like the line that would form above it. Wait, do I have claims to the territory? I guess I wouldn't see that because I already own a part of the territory, don't I? Yeah. It's probably better to check... Oh, I don't have the journal entry for it. I thought I had that journal entry for... down here. I guess I don't have it or it's already done. I don't remember. There's not much need to debate over this, maybe. I guess we'll just request it because that's our stuff. Oh, look at that. Britain's actually offered their own. So Afghanistan just loses all this territory. I love how it's basically just give us your territory. Unsurprisingly, they have rejected this. I'm actually not that surprised that they rejected that because that was literally just demanding territory from Afghanistan. They were just like, no. So, threaten reprisals. So, we could propose it again, but then we can propose offer compensation, which currently says it will do nothing. Which, this definitely tells me this is not working as intended. Oh, it's pottery, actually. Porcelain, sorry, is actually getting expensive. Why? Maybe it's probably just always been that way. We just didn't really make a lot of it. You know what? I'm going to make lots of porcelain for no reason at all. I usually don't invest that much into porcelain, but I think, you know what? We're just going to invest a lot. Oh, do they agree? That's all it took was a bit of financial incentive and a threat of reprisals to get them to agree. And so they just kind of gave in to it all. Okay, let's get a little more of the economy set up here. You know, we could just invest a bunch into the Chinese now. Probably not going to, but as qualifications to fill all current vacancies. Well, what vacancies do you have? How bad is it over here? You're missing aristocrats and engineers. Well, oh well. It's such a shame that there aren't more aristocrats in the world. Something, something, we don't care. Just gonna build more stuff in the background. That did kind of massively increase our glass prices, though, because, don't know if you noticed, but we kind of need glass. So I'm just gonna build a bunch of it in a bunch of areas with no real discernable plan. And hope it works out. It'd be a shame if they were to hide in these abandoned houses. What's the difference? Children, what children gives you 10? Or you pick this one, which I guess it's to just make them less attractive as a political group. I don't know. I guess that's the only thing behind it, yeah. Because otherwise, none of it makes sense. I love how expensive steel is with that monopoly. Really need the open hearth process at some point. It actually would make it would make things worse because of how cheap the price becomes. That's so funny. So we're stuck with the Russia-America company again, which is my own undoing, but at least our companies are pretty successful overall. Some more than others, I should say. Oh, 13 building assets, so it's like one in each state. Okay, I was like, how do you have only 13 levels? That does not make any sense. I was not reading the right instruction. Or are they, Manchuria's suffering, one is uprising? I can't word that. Oh! The Heavenly Kingdom actually secured Beijing and Taiwan for itself, so... That's actually good for us, I would argue, because thanks to them for at least a few more years guaranteed, we have investment rights. So, we actually own almost 5% of their GDP, too, so... That's pretty good. Will not tolerate this. Still running a significant bureaucrat deficit, but it's low enough with the occasional purchases from the investment pool that I actually don't need to care about it anymore. I mean, I do care about it because, you know, I have institutions that still need to expand. But at least we're no longer having financial concerns. In fact, what is the private investment pool doing at this point? It is building a lot of railways. How much is this overseas? It's mostly overseas. Which is fine, it's just a lot. It's a lot of steel we could still make. Just have to start switching some of these over. Just can't do too much at once. Or else you won't have enough steel or enough glass. Explosives I'm not that worried about. Tools are usually not as concerning. There we go. We're getting more of the glass works done. I usually just keep a balanced position when it comes to porcelain. Like, I usually just use ceramics. There's no bone china involved. But I don't know. I just felt like just saying to hell with it. We'll just see what happens. That does not make any of this a good idea, I must stress. This is literally just me throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. That is basically what we're doing here. It's just monkey economics. Speaking of monkey economics, we have mutual funds, and then we're going to get the investment bank, because that's another company. And then probably push for Zeppelins, because that's the market access price impact bonus. We could also do things up here. They're not too important. Identification documents is kind of good for home affairs, but in case you forgot already, our bureaucracy is having an issue right now, thanks to the ongoing administrative corruption. Oh, and the asylum bureaucracy. I totally forgot about that. So we're actually suffering minus 33 bureaucracy right now. Excellent. That's amazing. That's wonderful. 2.83% pop growth. Now, yeah, so my solution to bypass all the peasants is not to conduct mass automation. It's just to force people to have more children. Look, we could have gone the automation route, but we chose dystopia instead. Could switch off poor laws to wage subsidies, but I don't think we need to do that. I do need to fix the bureaucratic... honestly, the bureaucratic system is just going to take several years before it's actually fixed. Partially due to the... Who is supporting this? The Orthodoxy? Oh, theocrat, right. Partially just because The penalties are pretty severe. So yeah, we can't even do cooperative ownership because of serfdom. No command economy, no cooperative, laissez-faire, interventionism, it's all banned while serfdom's active. So our economic system of choice is extremely limited to an almost excruciating degree. How much political concession have we given them at this point? 6 plus religious rag schools. So technically 7 in that sense. Oh, wait. There was another one we did too, though, wasn't there? Religious workhouses. Yeah, that's the one I forgot because that's giving the attraction to their pops. I was gonna say, are there any capitalists that actually back them here? They're actually getting 11% of this capitalist group. Corporatism's obviously giving them some, but they're getting the extra 30% bonus from the 2 different law bonuses that they have, which is kind of silly to me. And that's a modifier to the total attraction, which arguably is really good for them right now. I don't know if that's going to be true for every capitalist orthodox pop, but the idea that 10% of the capitalists are following the orthodoxy instead of the industrialists sounds crazy to me. Of course, the capitalist profession is going to go up higher the more money they have, so I don't think it's going to get too crazy and too out of control there. We have run up about 2.5 hours. We're almost in 1880, and I think this is a decent place to stop. Thankfully, our economy is still doing better than the AI, although that's not really saying much, despite the fact that we're held back by serfdom. But my God, I am feeling the pain. We're finally pumping out enough qualifications just because we have a lot of unemployed pops and non-peasant pops that exist now. Normally, I would have decimated the peasant population before now and gotten this number to be down below 35%, probably below 30% with all the agricultural stuff I do. But we're still stuck with almost half the population being peasants. I literally can't build up these wheat farms, so I'm having to ensure alternative sources. Now, we're making enough wheat on our own. We're actually getting a fair bit from subsistence farms here. But that's also partially because the food industry expansion's been a bit slow. You have to remember the peasants are demanding 5% of goods that pops of the same standing would demand. So they're demanding 14.9 groceries at a base wealth of 7 for 1.63 million people. If we were to go to a group of 587,000 people with the same wealth circumstance, they're demanding 107 groceries. 587 pops, 587,000 compared to 1.63 million. Is a massive difference in demand. And that's probably why you're seeing our grocery prices be okay, is because almost half our population is demanding 5% of goods. It's really low, which I guess makes them sustainable at least. Anyway, thank you all for watching. We will be continuing this next time, hopefully next week, but we will see when. If you have any questions or anything you wanted to see, let me know. I'm very much happy to be back in Victoria 3. And I will see you all next time.